dodge bullets, baby.
This is beyond fairy tale. It's inconceivable.
There it is! Doyle's done it! This is the greatest tournament in the world!
To the main event champion go two big rewards: the money and the bracelet. As day two of the 2008 main event begins, two players remain who know a thing or two about both. Erick Lindgren finally got his first bracelet this year, and a main event title would culminate a dream World Series.
Win that, they're gonna remember you forever.
Scotty Nguyen wants to forget last year's main event collapse and move past this year's horse drama.
Enough is enough, man.
Another world championship may do the trick.
I want to be me again.
Yes!
That's Scotty Nguyen style, baby.
The designs for the title could be spoiled by a talent-rich field that includes Barry Greenstein, Patrik Antonius, and Chau Giang, all cash game specialists, all eyeing $9 million.
Let's gamble.
They've all had success this year. Now they're hungry for more.
Let's go!
But challenge number one is to get through day two. Welcome once again to the main event of the 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. With Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. The players are making their way to their seats here in the Rio Poker Room as the first session of day two is about to begin.
I'm gonna win the World Series.
Some of the game's top players are ready to continue their quest for a world championship. Horse world champion Scotty Nguyen has yet to arrive, but fellow bracelet winner from this year, Barry Greenstein, is here, as is 2008 Player of the Year, Erick Lindgren.
This is what day two feels like.
And at table two, another first-time bracelet winner, Blair Hinkle, who along with his brother Grant made history by becoming the first siblings to win bracelets in the same year. Joining Blair is another young up-and-comer, Vanessa Rousso.
No pressure over here.
And over at our featured table, three-time bracelet winner and cash game specialist, Chau Giang.
Chau prefers the big game, but he's also 8th all-time at the World Series with 45 cashes.
Chau, if you raise and I call, I got 3 aces, okay? That's all I'm telling you.
Oh, you need 2.
No, I'm gonna have to have 3. I read some books though, Chau, so be careful.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you. I know I need it.
Hannah Elizabeth lives here in Las Vegas, part-time actress, says she's now a professional poker player. She was born in Austria, raised in Manhattan, and on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Hannah looks down at pocket nines.
She's been an actress, a TV personality, a public speaker, and even a Dolly Parton lookalike.
Hannah raises the action to 2,500, folds over to Chau Giang now. Queen 10 of hearts for the 53-year-old pro.
Chau is Chau. Nothing fancy.
No. Oh my God, don't do it.
Got 2 aces?
No, don't do it. Oh,
Chau makes the call.
come on, don't knock me out my first hand. That's not right.
You know who you're playing against.
I'm quivering. Do you see me shaking right now?
Yeah.
I'm terrified. Please.
Hannah's got some competition already. Now, Garth Paul, 28 years old from Cleveland, a World Series rookie. He's got King 10 offsuit. And he will make the call from the big blind.
Okay. Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
She raised 5 times the big blind and got 2 callers.
Flop is 6 queen deuce. Chau Giang paired his queen to take the lead. Paul with king high checks.
I'm checking to the greatness here. I'm checking to the greatness.
The greatness gambled and hit the flop.
He bets 6,000 with the best hand.
Wow.
Paul folds.
Don't go broke now.
I know. You're scaring the crap out of me, really.
Be a man, raise him.
All right. You know what? I'm going to go be a little girl and just lay it down.
Don't worry.
Huh?
Yeah, I could
Good
lay
lay down? Show me the queen. Good. I saw
Queen
queen. Good girl.
She's got moxie.
Huh?
Chau wins the pot.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Oh, my God. This is a lot of pressure. I'm just a little girl from Iowa. I don't know about this stuff. Come on.
Is that your phone?
Iowa.
Yeah, well, Hannah's working the actress portion of her resume right there. She lost the pot, but maybe won a friend at this featured table. Norman, it took some time to get through the opening round, but day 2 is finally upon us. And while it's still relatively early in this marathon tournament, it does seem like success in the bracelet events can lead to momentum in the main event.
Well, Erick Lindgren, the 2008 Player of the Year, is still around. Scotty Nguyen, the 2008 horse champion, is still around. And one of our favorites, high-stakes maven Chau Giang, cashed 7 times at this World Series, and he's still around. The question now, will they be around after day 2? The answer is in the cards.
Did you just say it's in the cards?
What, I have to run every stupid thing I say by you first?
To the outer tables, we find Erick Lindgren, the 2008 Player of the Year, and it's showdown time here at this table. Eric turns over pocket tens after the river. His opponent, Ed Jordan Buck. So a good start for Eric, as usual here this year.
Well, Eric's never made it past day 2 of the main event. He just finished 3rd at the Horse Championship, which was a long day's journey into the night with Scotty Nguyen. Scotty won the title, but his behavior ruffled a bunch of feathers, including Erick Lindgren's.
Back to you, Norman.
Actually, let's go over to Lon, huh?
Thank you, Norman. And let's go to Scotty Nguyen, who made
I thought I'm going to play tomorrow.
it. He's sleeping in today.
I'm serious. I thought I'd play tomorrow. Man, lucky my wife. Why are you waking me up?
That's why you have a wife.
So a little confusion on Scotty's part about which day 2 he was to play. And there's Jason Young, who won his first bracelet this year, sitting at Scotty's table. Scotty started today with about 24,000 chips and gets right down to action with a raise.
Yeah, actually, Scotty got a speeding ticket on his way over here, and now it seems like he wants to make up for lost time by immediately raising the pot.
And he gets the rest of the table to fold, and so he will collect that small pot. So Scotty Nguyen, here late, but right to work.
All in on 3.
At another table, the man who busted Scotty from the main event last year, Philip Helm, is all in with pocket jacks against Neil McFadden's ace-queen suited. And the flop, and there's a set for Helm. Turn card now, a royal flush draw for McFadden, but quad jacks will win the hand for Helm.
It's good enough. It's good enough. Turn made it interesting.
Wow.
Don't want to give this guy chips. It's dangerous.
He doesn't look that dangerous with that haircut. He looks like he's playing heads up for a snow cone.
Helm doubled up, but still short stacked. And there's the last of the 55 bracelets to be awarded here at the Rio, and Chau Giang is certain it would look good on him.
What a surly bunch. Look at these guys. I feel like Wendy with the Lost Boys. You know that? I know a place where dreams are born.
And I know a place where dreams come to die.
Ooh, too much information, Norman. All right, action continues at this featured table. Chau Giang, Jack 8 of hearts.
Pot Limit Omaha is probably Chau's best game, but he plays them all well.
A raise to 1,500. King 9 of diamonds for Garth Paul, and he will call.
He's engaged to be married.
Never mind.
That means he's committed to the flop, but he can get out before the river.
Paul and Giang heads up. The flop is queen 4-6, misses both. King high is best for Paul. Chau Giang comes out with 3,000.
Continuation bet for Chau. He's got nothing.
Queen again.
Luck the lady.
Get the queen, ace queen.
See how Chau was covering his mouth when he lied?
Wow, Paul folds to the pro.
It's good to be you, Chau. You know that?
Well, Chau's reputation won that pot. The seasoned pro has this table right where he wants them.
The 2008 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by the World Series of Poker. Shouldn't you be playing for a bracelet next year? Pre-register at worldseriesofpoker.com.
Throughout the years, the World Series of Poker has had many memorable players delivering unforgettable lines.
You car gonna be all over, baby.
Pass the sugar.
About themselves.
I can dodge bullets, baby.
About others.
You going with a jack high. You got little.
But one of our favorite lines came in 2004 when Chau Giang so eloquently shared his feelings about the game itself.
Poker's nice. Poker's nice. Poker's nice. I love play poker.
And poker loves Chau. He learned to play all the games when he was working as a cook in Colorado and figured out he could make a good living from it.
It's fun. I never play poker with the whole group here.
Well, we don't have your bankroll, baby. Come on.
For those who don't speak Chau, he was talking about how much he enjoys playing with this group of strangers.
I'll play poker with you every day of the week if you want.
No, it's too good for me.
Actually, Chau's now figuring out how much money he can make off this group.
Probably so.
It's fun though, to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I play with the professional all the time.
You play with the same people all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Now I play like this, I think I enjoy more.
It would be fun to lose my money to Chau. He's just among the best in a lot of ways.
He seems very relaxed at this featured table. He mentioned playing with pros. He does that in the biggest cash game in the world, and that game includes this guy, Barry Greenstein, and Barry's collecting some chips out there.
Barry Player of the Year runner-up to Erick Lindgren.
These guys are waiting for the best hand to beat me. I don't really like that.
If Chau or Barry sits down next to you in a cash game, just save some time and hand over your cash.
Barry has been a bit short-stacked throughout this tournament, but he's hanging in there. At another table, another big game player, Patrik Antonius, all in with his pocket jacks. He leads the pocket eights of Dustin Dirksen. There's a pair of sixes on the board as we go to the river. And the river card is another 6, and so with a better full house, Patrik Antonius doubles up.
Patrik, once mentored by Marcel Lusk, still without a bracelet, but he's only 27 and he has a load of talent.
Also playing here is his fiancée, Maya Geller. He's put out a bet at another table. And it looks like Maya's going to collect that pot.
Patrik and Maya are so good-looking, if I'm in the same restaurant with them, they throw me out. You know, they edged Marco Traniello and Jen Harmon as best-looking poker couple, Chad Brown and Vanessa Rousso, Phil Laak and Jen Tilley, and Chip and Karina Jett also in the running. Me and anybody I'm with finished 237th.
Guess that doesn't bode well for me. There is Vanessa Rousso sitting this hand out, but Blair Hinkle's involved in a pot. He's got King 10 against 2 other players. Ron Signey has Ace Deuce, and Ben Assar with King Queen.
Blair part of a great poker couple. He and brother Grant, the first siblings to win bracelets in the same year.
The flop is 5 tray 8. That misses everyone. Signey with ace high and a wheel draw leads, and he checks. Hinkle's going to try to buy it with 2,500.
I raise.
Assar says raise. A bigger bluff. 1 orange chip, 5,000.
Yeah, Assar trying to out-bluff Blair's bluff.
Signey folds.
I believe you.
And Hinkle folds.
They're really good, right?
No, I didn't have it.
Oh, that's mean.
Assar shows the bluff.
Nice raise.
That wasn't mean. He just had better nothing than you had.
So nicely done by Assar. A good read and good timing, and he fools the bracelet winner. All right, we cross over the Milwaukee's Best Light No Limit Lounge to the featured table where top pro Chau Giang has been frustrating the rest of the table.
Come on, I need a hand here. Good. No queens.
Queen.
No queens.
It's my favorite card today.
Queens have been good to Chau so far. Action starts on Garth Paul, Ace-King offsuit. Paul's going to raise it up to 21-25.
What's with 21-25? Why not 2,100? Will someone explain that to me?
Hannah Elizabeth with pocket jacks. Hannah is going to repop it to 7,100.
That's a mistake. She should have made it 71-75.
Chau Giang now with 8-7.
He's thinking about whether he paid the gardener this week.
Chau, don't even think about it. I don't even want you to. If I even see you reach for a chip, I'm leaving right now.
You promise? You leaving?
I might. You don't want me out this early. Come on.
Chau reaches.
Stop. Muck.
Okay.
Thank you. I like a man who follows directions.
Just tell me what you want me to do, Hannah.
Action on Paul now. And he re-raises enough to put Hannah Elizabeth all in. She's got just under 22,000.
You're not trying to bully me because I'm a girl, are you?
Paul's mother taught him not to talk to strange women.
It's nice playing with you, Al.
She makes the call, and she'll be at risk. Pocket jacks against Ace-King.
Okay.
2 classic starting hands clashing here.
I can't watch. So I can't. I'm going to be nauseous.
Hannah Elizabeth all in, and there's a king in the flop, and that's a big blow to Elizabeth.
Yeah, she's not nauseous, she's sick. Bad flop for Hannah.
Jack!
It's a 4 of diamonds on the turn, no help.
No!
Hannah has to see a jack.
Don't do it!
River card is a 5, and that will end Hannah Elizabeth's main event.
Good luck, guys.
Chau loses his new friend. She was trouble, Chau.
Thanks, honey. Good luck. Congratulations, honey. Good luck.
So Hannah Elizabeth will hit the rail, and the game won't be quite as much fun for Chau Giang anymore.
What can you do?
The 2000 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio on the E-Trade Financial Tournament ticker. You see, nearly 7,000 began the main event. Over 3,600 survived day one, and today's field is the smaller of the two day two sessions. At an outer table, 2002 main event champ Robert Varconi has called the all-in of Steve Mondry. Varconi shows pocket kings, Mondry ace-jack.
Come on, ace. Come on, ace.
Mondry looking for an ace. Ace does come there, but so does another king. Varconi with a set. 5 on the turn means Mondry is drawing dead. Varconi ends up with a full house, and he knocks off Steve Mondry.
Had to be a world champion. Nice answer.
Robert Varconi, very nice man, no ego. These days says he just lives a boring suburban life in New York with his wife Olga and 2 daughters.
Over to another New Yorker and a main event runner-up, Eric Seidel, who's collecting a pot.
Seidel famously second to Johnny Chan at the '88 main event.
At another table, a young New Yorker, first-time bracelet winner, Jason Young, playing at a table with Scotty Nguyen.
The end of the day, me and you drink Dom Perignon.
Sounds good to me, man.
I think Scotty Nguyen roomed with Dom Perignon several years ago.
All right, elsewhere, another New Yorker, Ray Romano. Emmy winner, had quite a day one, and picking up where he left off, collecting more chips.
I went online, Lon, and checked out Ray Romano's tournament results. Man, he stinks at poker. He can't play.
Ray Romano enjoying the life these days. When he's not playing poker, he's playing a lot of golf. Doesn't get any better than that. To table 2, where we find Blair Hinkle and Vanessa Rousso, who have made small pre-flop investments. Hinkle with ace-jack, Rousso with pocket trays. Also on the hand is Martin Alkir with a suited queen-10. 3 to the flop. It is 9 ace deuce. Hinkle pairs his ace. Alkir with a flush draw. Rousso left with her trays, checks. Alkir bets 5,000 on the draw.
Alkir saw Gus Hansen playing on TV a few years ago, and that got him started.
Hinkle makes the call. Rousso now gives up her trays, so heads up to the turn. Turn is an 8. Blair Hinkle still with the advantage. Alkir from Denmark picked up a gut shot straight draw. He bets 11,000.
Trying to bluff a Hinkle? You don't bluff a Hinkle. Their mom didn't raise them to be bluffed out of pots.
He does make the call. River cards a 4 that missed Alkir. A check mark for Hinkle.
Ma Hinkle's boy has the check mark. They both check. Ma Hinkle's boy's got the pot.
And Alkir folds even without showing. He knows he's beat. Hinkle turns over his winning aces.
He's a Hinkle. All the Hinkles are hellaciously tough.
Blair hoping to make some more World Series of Poker history. It's a journey that began thanks to his older brother.
Grant is 6 years older than me, so he's always like bigger and stronger and better at sports, and I always looked up to him.
I definitely think I was a role model. He looked to see what I did first. Whatever haircut I had, he had the same haircut, and I made some horrible haircut decisions.
He did it, so I did it, and that's just the way it went.
For a couple days, there were bragging rights because I had the bracelet and he didn't.
I was like, all right, my turn. Winning in the same year is just ridiculous. Like, how do we actually get that lucky?
To make it through those huge fields and both take it down is just unbelievable experience.
He wins first and then I win second. As long as that keeps going, I'll be happy.
Blair 22, brother Grant is 28. With their bracelets, Ma Hinkle's boys brought home $1.3 million.
Back to the feature table now, where it's just Chau Giang and the rest of the guys with Hannah Elizabeth gone. Action is going to start on Mickey Wernick from England at his 25th World Series of Poker. He's got 6 kids, ages 13 to 39.
Well, that's why his nickname is the Legend.
King 7 of clubs. He will limp in for 250. Chau Giang, Queen 9 of spades in the big blind.
Barry Greenstein says Chau's one of the 5 best players in the world. He plays in the highest stake game and wins consistently year in and year out.
He raised the action to 2,000, and Wernick will come along. So, small and big blind heads up to the flop. Flop is Jack, King, King. Wernick hits trip kings. Chau Giang, though, with a straight flush draw. Wernick checks.
Finally a World Series caliber flop.
Chau bets 3,000.
Chau will represent something. It's a great drawing hand, but it's a 2-to-1 underdog.
Wernick just with a call with his 3 kings.
Just make sure they got it, Chang.
Turn card now is a 10 of spades and a straight flush for Chau Giang.
That's preposterous.
Wow.
I'm on it.
Wernick moves all in. He's already drawing dead.
Sure.
Chau double checks.
I call.
Yeah.
There you go, man. Straight flush.
Oh, wow. And Wernick is gone.
Chau with a stunning knockout.
A tough blow for Wernick.
That's big, man. Only kind of dead can call you.
He flops trip kings and gets knocked out by a straight flush.
Oh, my God. What a 10 of spade. Wow, 10 of spade.
Chau must think poker's really nice right now.
When's the last time you hit one of them?
No, it's a long time. I don't remember.
Are you not sure you hit it?
When I make sure I hit the straight flush here, that I go all in. Wow, that's great.
Everything going Chau Giang's way right now. Next Tuesday, it's day 2 times 2 as those remaining take their next main event step. And on November 11th, the highly anticipated final table. The November 9 will compete for the most coveted prize in poker. Every Tuesday night at 8 and 9 p.m., it's the World Series of Poker on ESPN. Back inside the Rio in the 2008 main event. At the featured table, Chau Giang still talking about making that straight flush.
Oh, you go all in, has straight flush. There you go.
I'm sure he'll call Doyle Brunson tonight to tell him. Probably wake him up.
All right, well, let's go out to the field because Philip Hilm is all in again, but this time he's way behind with pocket fives, called by 2 players, one with pocket kings, one with aces.
Can't win with that haircut.
No help on the flop or the turn for Philip.
Has to have a 5.
It is a 4, and Philip Hilm, last year's 9th place finisher, is gone.
Yeah, 9th place in 2007, Lon. Out on day 2 in 2008.
Knocked out by Thomas Fougeron.
Good luck, everyone.
To another table, 2 of this year's bracelet winners heads up, Jason Young and Scotty Nguyen.
You know I don't speed, baby.
He was speeding this morning.
After the turn, Young is a 4-1 favorite with a pair of kings. Scotty with a nut flush diamond draw. Young, first to act after the turn, bets 4,000. Scotty makes the call. River card now. Scotty looking for help. Does not get it. Jason Young earns the check mark.
I miss everything, baby.
Young checked and Scotty checks. And Young will take that pot.
2 bottles of Dom Perignon now, baby.
You got it, you got it.
I like this Jason Young. I think I can mold him into a man.
I can't win the hand, so I'm gonna watch.
Scotty puts himself on the rail.
That's a good thing, man.
Can't win the hand.
Yeah, he's gonna take it.
So I'm just gonna watch from now.
Jason takes a pot off a world champ. He is enjoying his World Series premiere. Not bad for a guy trying to figure out what to do with his life.
I'm Jason Young, I'm 26 years old, and I guess I'm playing poker professionally for a living. I was working for my town's Parks and Recreation Department, and it was good, and I really enjoyed it, and they didn't give me an $8,000 raise. It wasn't a bad job. It was just that I was unable to survive. They needed to do something where I was going to make some more money. I started playing poker about 4 years ago, kind of seriously with my dad, with a couple of my good friends. I probably made a little more money playing poker than I even made working, so I decided to leave, and I haven't looked back since. The bracelet, it was just unbelievable. You know, it just came at the perfect time. Everything came together real well, and I couldn't be happier. I have that same feeling going inside. I'm so tuned in to what's going on right now that I really feel like there's a good chance that I'm gonna go deep in this tournament.
Jason Young's like the kid brother I never had, and if he were my kid brother, I'd rip that Yankee garb right off of him.
Look who's at his table now, Ray Romano.
I don't want to sit here.
Tough table.
All right. By the way, this seat,
You can take him out first.
this seat, first day, the guy quad aces lost to the Royal Flush. Right here, this seat.
You got too much chip, baby. What are you doing?
Too much. I'm down. Got a bracelet here, got a bracelet there.
Scotty's got 5 bracelets, plus a jewelry store around his neck.
Ray had a pretty good day 1, but it's going to get a lot tougher here at this table. There's the man who held the Royal Flush. Ray mentioned Justin Phillips beat quad aces in that hand.
What exactly is the dress code here?
You're in trouble now.
You have to wear pants.
Please don't hurt me.
Just a couple of minutes ago you asked me to spank you, and now you please.
I didn't ask you to spank me.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
No, I
come
did
on,
not.
Be honest now.
He said you're checking out my backside.
No,
I said
I didn't.
smack me. You're like, I wouldn't smack you unless you stood up, so I stood up. You're the one who said
I thought you wanted me to spank you.
No, I said smack me in the face.
Okay.
I'm looking at my World Series of Poker rulebook. I see nothing about spanking.
That's Finnish pro Mina Rita Korpi talking with Justin about smacking, not spanking. Back to the feature table where the chat sessions have not been so provocative. New player at the table is Birgit Deepvik from Sweden.
You're 21, man.
22.
22? Don't look like 21 to me.
Yeah, I know.
Is he 21?
I get it a lot.
Yeah, I bet you do.
All right, action continues. 76-year-old Jim Hartley folds over to Deepvik. He was once a lifeguard, then went into the Swedish military, and apparently that's all prepared him for a life as a poker pro. And he raises with ace-queen. Chau Giang now looks down at ace-king. Chau needs 1,400 to call, and that's all he does.
Well, he's still considering challenging Deepvik's age.
The rest of the table folds, and so it will be Chau Giang, and Birgit Deepvik heads up. Chau with the best of it. Flop is king 7 queen. Chau Giang with a pair of kings. Deepvik with a pair of queens.
Well, the 22-year-old might lose all his chips on this hand. That should give him a chance to get a haircut before bedtime.
Deepvik wants to see where he's at with the queens. Bets 2,400.
Chau with top pair. Deepvik with middle pair.
Chau bets enough to put Deepvik all in.
It puts the pressure on the youngster. Deepvik with a good hand, plus he might think Chau's on a big draw. So a pair of queens might be good.
This will be a tough laydown for anyone.
Good answer.
But Deepvik does fold it. And Chau Giang will take the pot. And as much as he wanted to play those queens, Deepvik's better judgment prevailed. That is the planter's good instinct moment.
Well, the kid wise beyond his years there. He still needs a haircut.
What's your name again?
Birgit.
Birgit? Birgit.
His name is Kid.
By the way, it's good lie down.
I hope so.
Chau throws the youngster a bone as he continues to rule this table.
The Planter's Good Instinct moment is brought to you by Planters. Instinctively good. The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, main event.
Back inside the Rio Poker Room on the E-Trade Financial Tournament ticker, you see the second largest main event field ever created a monster prize pool, $9.1 million going to the winner, and Erick Lindgren hoping to get a piece of that cash for the first time.
Lindgren, Player of the Year, won his first bracelet this year in the $5,000 mixed hold'em event.
And Erick's good fortune continues as he rakes in another pot at that outer table. At that final table where Erick won that bracelet was Pat Peasant. He finished 8th in that tournament.
Peasant and Erick Lindgren have a very good friend in common, Daniel Negreanu, who was knocked out on day one.
Well, Peasant scored a big knockout on day one when he eliminated former world champion Jamie Gold. Another guy at that mixed hold'em final table was Chino Rheem. He finished 5th. He's thinking over a bet from Billy Gazes right now. Gazes had calls from both Rock Gurney and Mark Garner.
I think Billy predicted he would win the main event this year. He didn't guarantee it, but he thinks he's going to win.
Chino will fold, so 3 to the river. River card 2 of diamonds. Check from Garner. Rock Gurney, though, puts out 10,000 chips.
All in for 13.
And Billy's going to push.
Got to root for Billy. Very smart, very nice.
But both players fold.
Show king 10. I know that's what you had on the turn, Billy.
Why did Gurney fold? He just needed 3,000 more.
Well, maybe Billy had king 10. We don't know, but he does have 53,000 chips. Elsewhere, we find Irish-born bracelet winner Kieran O'Leary, who's moved all in against Dan Lausen. O'Leary putting the pressure on, and Lausen lays it down. Shows a pair of 8s.
And O'Leary shows he had nothing. A little James Bond daring there. That is a tough way to try to stick around.
Nobody said it was going to be easy. One chip at a time, boys. One chip at a time.
Even poker cliches sound better in Irish. All right, let's get back over to table 2. Vanessa Rousso is in a hand with Dale Singh. There was a raise, a re-raise, and Singh leads with Queen-Queen against Rousso's pocket 9s. Flop is 9-Jack-8. Rousso with a set of 9s. A gut shot straight draw for Singh. Rousso checked. Singh bets 2,000.
Well, Vanessa's going to slow play it. Singh with an overpair to the board and now a straight draw.
I'm going to raise.
Yeah, check raise from Vanessa. She makes it 7,000.
Well, Singh has never liked getting check raised by young ladies in pink caps.
He needs 5,000 to call, and he does. All right, now the turn card is another 8, and Rousso improves to a full house, 9's full of 8s.
Yeah, Vanessa Rousso now with a hammer lock on this hand.
Get 8.
And she'll make it 8,000, a little less than half the pot.
Singh is dead to a queen. The straight now would do him no good.
He does call.
What you got, Dale?
Pretty good hand.
All right, now the river card. It is a 10, and that gives Singh the queen high straight, but it's second best to Rousso's full house.
10.
She'll bet 10,000.
She value bets it.
And Singh calls.
9's full of 8s.
And a full house will beat a straight every day.
I make it straight on the river. Good hand, good hand.
And the woman they call Lady Maverick picks up a nice pot there.
Nice rock. Well done, Chad.
I almost thought you might have pocket 10s there and hit me on the river. I knew you had a big pair, but...
Now, Vanessa had a good read on her opponent there. She is a smart gal, a Duke grad, a law school grad, and a self-proclaimed Rubik's Cube specialist. It's that skill which we put to the test in this edition of Heads Up with Norm and Chad.
How quickly do you think you could solve that cube while answering questions from me?
With you asking me questions, I think that's going to be pretty tough, so I could hopefully do it in under 10.
Okay, that'll be the challenge. Good luck to you.
Alrighty.
You graduated from Duke in 2.5 years.
Staying there longer than you need to is kind of a waste of time.
You're engaged to Chad Brown. Did you lose a bet?
That's so mean.
Who is your biggest role model in poker?
I'm going to go with the obvious Phil Ivey. Oh, I just lost so many minutes. This talking thing is really hard.
Did you actually graduate from Duke, or did you just audit some classes online?
Okay, I think I figured out the trick to this whole thing. Basically, I could just kind of ignore you.
Do you know the square root of 6,324? What's your favorite color? Could I beat you in backgammon? Why'd you get engaged to a man with no future? How many carats is your engagement ring? How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I don't know how much wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Wow. Are you attracted to married men?
Uh-oh. Yes!
My
Still do the Rubik's
goodness.
Cube.
It's still light outside.
That's not nice. Oh!
I know this won't get me a wedding invite, but Vanessa, please tell Chad I'm just kidding.
And the main event bracelet would be a great match to that ring she got from Chad Brown. Action continues now here at our featured table. That is Garth Paul with Ace King. Blinds are at 250 and 500. He raises to 2,400.
This is the second largest main event in history. We started with 6,844 players.
Action folds over to 3-time bracelet winner Chau Giang, pocket 5s in the big blind.
Chau's cashed in the main event only once. In 1996, he finished 13th.
He calls for 1,900, heads up with Paul again. The flop is Deuce 7 King. Paul with top pair has a big lead now.
Paul outflops Chau.
Chau checks. Paul checks behind him. Turn card is a 4 of hearts. Paul's still good with a pair of kings. Chau, first to act. And he bets 5,500 with 5-5.
Paul gets Chau to bite.
Now he's not going to push Paul off this hand. A raise to 20,000.
Paul now springs his trap on Chau Giang.
Check the flop. The flat jaw.
Chau folds.
Yep. Chau wiggles away from that one. Paul shows him the goods.
So the World Series rookie, who is a service sales engineer in his real life, takes a nice pot off a big pro.
There was a two-way flush out there, though, Chau. I was getting a little worried about that.
Yeah, I have something, but not that big, by the way.
A rare moment for Chau. Gives up some of his stack.
Not the ace king that big.
And he proves he's not invincible. This Poker Fact is brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net. If you have 2 suited cards in the hole, you have a long way to go. The odds of making your flush are 118 to 1. Welcome back inside the Rio to our featured table where Chau Giang is having a very good day, continuing his strong showing at this year's World Series of Poker.
How many other events did you play at?
I've been playing, I believe, 15 events.
15 of them?
15. I got 7 casts for 15.
That's pretty darn good.
7 cards of 15 is not bad, huh?
Yeah, Chau Giang, like a lot of other top pros, having a very successful 2008 World Series. But out in the field is a guy who's made no secret of the fact that he's the one that's going to win it all.
ESPN, I am the greatest player in the world. When I go all in, they cannot call me. It's impossible.
That is Silvio Formica.
Lon, excuse me while I report to the rail.
What? That bad? For the camera. How about 3 10s? How about 3 10s? How's it feel to have the greatest player in the world in your camera? Did you enjoy that? Did you ever try to beat the Italian stallion when I bet out?
I need your ad.
His name is Silvio Formica. He is the Italian stallion, and I would follow him to the ends of the earth. On the other hand...
Yeah, Justin Phillips, usually a talker, but he's pretty quiet right now while in a hand with Mina Rita Corpi. And looks like they're going to split the pot.
Wow, you're free rolling.
Both with Queen 9.
How do you check the flop?
How did you?
I was check raising. You were just checking. Check.
Perhaps I was too check raising.
So what if he bets I raise, you call?
No, I would dreary raise, of course.
Wow, you're gangster.
That's me.
Well, maybe we have a new poker couple on the block.
Back to our feature table where we do have a new player sitting down, the Alabama Cowboy himself, Hoyt Corkins. He'll be right on Chau Giang's elbow.
What side of town do you live?
I live in Spanish Trails, close to you.
Oh, Spanish Trail. Yeah, really close.
Right. Mile from you.
You don't want to live too close to Chau? I'll bet you he plays a lot of loud music late at night.
You live in Spanish Hills, right?
Yeah, I live next door to your door. You been to your house?
Yeah, I've been there.
My next door neighbor. I lived at the next door to your door like, it's 11 years now. 11 years. George Brunson.
Well, I bet that end of the neighborhood is party central.
Well, now that Hoyt knows Chow's next door, maybe he'll invite him to the next hot tub party Doyle has. Action on Jim Hartley, a retired Air Force lieutenant colonel on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Ace Jack.
Call.
He's going to limp in for 600. Hoyt Corkins next. He lays it down now to Chau Giang. 7-6 of spades.
I don't know. You find a fine hand to play, huh? Sure. All right, that's a call then.
He'll call also.
Chau, part of the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce welcoming committee here at the table.
Over to Krister Johansson. And speaking of Texas Dolly, he's got the Doyle Brunson 10 deuce. And for the big blind, he checks his option. Now the flop. And it is trip aces for Hartley. He's got a big lead. Johansson checks.
I check.
And Hartley checks also.
So Hartley will sit on it.
Chau Giang always willing to commit something to the pot, 2,000. And that gets Johansson to fold. Hartley with the smooth call.
2 queen.
Pardon?
2 queen.
Yeah, 2 deuces have you beat, Chau.
Turn card is a king. Hartley with a check mark.
I check.
Action on Chau.
Hartley wants to see if Chow's going to try to steal again.
Yeah, he's gonna with 4,000.
I'm all in.
And a check raise all in from Hartley.
Bye-bye, Chau.
Yeah, he does fold.
Ace king.
Oh, he's close. At ace jack.
At my age, I can't remember. He plays the nuts or better.
So Chau Giang seems to have lost his winning touch.
The 2008 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by the World Series of Poker. Shouldn't you be playing for a bracelet next year? Pre-register at worldseriesofpoker.com.
Welcome back inside the Rio. The first session of day 2 continues. We check in on table 2. Blair Hinkle in a 4-way pot. Hinkle with 5-4 offsuit. Vanessa Rousso has the best hand pre-flop with a couple of 10s, and both Dale Singh and Peter Gunnarsson have ace-queen offsuit.
Hinkle raised with 5-4 off and got 3 callers.
So here's the flop. Now it is 6 trade deuce. Hinkle hits the 6-high straight.
It's Hinkle magic.
Russo checks her pair of 10s. Singh checks with a queen-high flush draw. Hinkle now flop to straight. He's got a straight flush draw. Bets 50-150. Gunnarsson with a nut flush draw will make the call. Vanessa Rousso gives up her hand. And now Singh Any flush he makes would be no good. And he makes the call. So 3 players now to the turn. Turn is a queen of hearts, and that hits both Singh and Gunnarsson, but they still come up short of Hinkle. Singh checks. And Hinkle not going to slow down. 12,500.
He would love to drive out any flush draws.
And Gunnarsson's going to move all in with the nut flush draw. Now to Singh.
Who is dead to Gunnarsson's flush.
But he does make the call.
And now Blair Hinkle in a pickle here. If someone has a flush already, he knows he could be drawing all but dead here. There's an all-in and a call in front of him. What would you do? Now, if Singh had not called, that would make it easier for Hinkle to continue here?
Hinkle.
All right.
He folds.
One of you better have a flush.
He's not going to be happy.
Nobody's got a flush.
Dang it.
Ace queen for both.
Yeah, Hinkle is not going to sleep well tonight.
Wow. He knows he gave up a lot of chips.
Well, now we have a likely split pot unless a spade comes out, then Gunnarsson wins.
All right, river card is a heart, and it will be a split pot between Singh and Gunnarsson.
Hinkle just saw a 100,000 chip pot with his name on it go elsewhere.
Wow.
You laid the straight? That's rough.
Yeah, I think I heard somebody say one time it's okay once in a while to lay down the best hand, but Blair Hinkle's only thinking about a missed opportunity. Back to our featured table now. Action will begin on Rick Lowe, 42 years old from Olathe, Kansas. He's the vice president of an insurance company. He's got ace-4 of diamonds. He's going to raise it to 1,800. Next in line, Hartley will fold, as does Hoyt Corkins. Now Chau Giang, King 10 offsuit.
We have seen Chau pretty active today. He likes it when he's not playing with Doyle and Barry and Patrik Antonius.
He makes the call for 1,800. And another King 10 suited, this time for Don Fryer, a contractor from San Diego, in the small blind.
Chau against an insurance guy and a contractor. I like Chau's hand.
And he makes the call. Now the big blind gets out of the way. So 3 to the flop. It is 10-9-6. Fryer and Giang each pair their 10. Fryer checks. Lowe bets 3,300 with ace high.
Lowe decides to take a stab at this pot.
Chau Giang with top pair and a good kicker. We'll call.
He's got the same hand that Fryer has.
Action on Fryer now.
Raise.
And he is going to check raise it.
Yeah, for some reason, I never expect a contractor to check raise.
You've never had work done on your house. He makes it 8,300 to play. Lowe needs 5,000 to call, but he folds. Now Chau Giang.
Chau today has been a bully, and he has been bullied. Exact same hands, these two guys.
And Chau Giang folds to Fryer's pressure.
Whew. Well, maybe Chau's better off playing with Doyle and Barry and Patrik Antonius.
Well, a misread by Chau. He lost another small pot, but he's still sitting on 90,000. All right, let's go to the outer tables. Patrik Antonius has again moved all in on the river. He's up against Gaetano Buda.
I promised myself I wouldn't get involved in a hand with you.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Don't get involved with good-looking young guys.
Buda will make the call. Patrik shows 7-4 for a full house. Buda should have listened to himself. Antonius doubles up.
Antonius says he doesn't have a nickname, but he is known by Adonis, the Black Lotus, the Flying Finn, or the Terminator.
All right, to another top pro who has moved all in, Barry Greenstein, putting himself at risk with ace-7 up against Richard Burns, who has king-jack.
Barry made 3 final tables at this year's World Series. He has 3 career bracelets.
Barry hits top pair on the flop. He's still good. Turn card, no help to Burns. River card is a 9, and that's good for Barry Greenstein. He stays alive and doubles up. So Richard Burns gives new hope to Barry Greenstein.
Still on life support. At least I got a little intravenous medicine that time.
Very small needle.
So Barry's hanging on to another top
Good
pro
luck,
now.
Scotty.
Scotty Nguyen all in with pocket 9s.
Well, Scotty got here late and has never gotten started.
Interested observers, Jason Young and Ray Romano, wouldn't mind seeing a world champion get knocked out. Action on Alexander Schwab,
Okay, gentlemen, we have it all in the
who
call.
makes the call as Scotty's all in and shows pocket kings. Scotty's in trouble.
You have to pick up that hand, right, baby?
And now the flop. And there's a 9 in there for Scotty. He takes a big lead. Schwab, though, with 4 hearts to a flush. Turn card's a blank.
Scotty's got to dodge a king or a heart.
River is a heart, and that's going to do it. Schwab hits his flush and knocks off Scotty Nguyen.
All right, baby.
Scotty from 11th place in 07 to no place in 08.
Yeah, no money here in this main event for the current horse world champion.
See you later, baby. You still drinking later?
My buddy Jason's still trying to score a free drink. Kid is thinking.
And poker life just got a little easier at this table for Jason Young and Ray Romano.
See you next year, baby.
I'm a little drunk. Sorry.
Well, you turn the bright lights on an actor, they immediately start working the crowd, don't they? The blinds at 400, 800. Ray Romano on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam 10 tray of clubs, and he folds.
Brad Garrett would have played that hand. What's wrong with Ray?
Action on Julian Veloff, a 33-year-old engineer from France at his first World Series of Poker, King Jack of Diamonds.
I don't trust engineers in sunglasses.
He's going to raise it to 2,500. This is the first of the day 2 sessions. It started with more than 1,200 players. About 800 remain in play right now. Action around to Jason Young from Suffern, New York.
I've been working with Jason on the pocket cam. He's getting a little better.
Ace-9 of diamonds calls from the big blind. He'll be heads up with Veloff. The flop is deuce-7 jack. Pair of jacks to grab the lead for Veloff. Young checks.
Jason, a fan of the single finger check. He picked that up from me.
Frenchman goes with 4 fingers. 4 on the turn. No help to Young. He's first to act with ace high. Makes it 3,400 to play.
Jason trying to bluff Veloff off top pair. He didn't get that from me.
Veloff does make the call. River card is a 5. Veloff earns the check mark. Young reaches, goes for 6,200. You teach him that?
He's on his own now.
How much?
Oh, you know it's 6,200. Take the shades off and smell the chips.
Well, you don't trust this guy?
No. I did teach Jason to look bored and disinterested when he's bluffing. I don't trust this guy. Oh, he sees right through it.
Yep. Veloff does call.
Good call.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Veloff will take that pot off Jason Young.
Hey, I brought this Jason kid here from the Parks Department. I can take him right back if he doesn't shape up.
So Julian Veloff rakes in the benefits of sniffing out Jason Young's river bluff. Young may be a bit wary before he tests the Frenchman next time. And all of this tells Ray Romano this is not some piddly Hollywood home game.
Norman, every year at the main event, we are introduced to a wide variety of unknowns taking their shot at poker's most coveted prize, from accountants to chiropractors to recent college graduates. Yet sometimes we find a player that everybody already knows, and of course, everybody loves.
Ray Romano is the latest in a line of celebrities to invade the main event. Sure, he's a famous guy, but at the poker table, he's a nobody. And sure, he's funny, but with bracelet winner Jason Young at his table, funny ain't gonna be enough. So Ray, my man, listen up. Today, you take care of the cards, and I'll take care of the jokes.
Guys, go to B. Go to
Norman.
B.
Ray's not taking care of the cards.
Go to B. C.
It's a problem.
George will win
Ready
this
on
spot.
3. Ready on 3, 4. Zoom in on 4. Now back and forth. Back
You
and
can
forth.
take the actor out of the studio, but
That's not even hooked up.
I think he broke about 19 union rules right there. Let's go out in the field where we find some interesting pairings. Brooklyn pro Billy Gaze is at the same table as LA pro Chino Rheem. Chino's in a hand with Mark Garner right now. Chino has the check mark, but Garner has bet 25,000.
How do you just call me on the flop and turn with the nuts? You have to have like 2 5s or 2 8s.
Chino trying to work it out. He'll make the call.
Ace key.
Let's go.
And he'll take that pot.
Thank you, sir.
Nice call.
Mark Garner finished 25th in the main event in 2006. Chino Rheem gets the better of him there.
You had me worried, Mark. You really did. You had me worried, buddy.
The LA pro pulls in a pot elsewhere at another table. Looks like Blair Hinkle has seen his last river card. He's been knocked out.
Report to the rail.
He and his brother Grant made World Series history, becoming the first siblings to win bracelets in the same year. There is Vanessa Rousso, who was paired with Blair Hinkle at the same table earlier. Vanessa folds in disgust.
She's got a lot on her mind with the whole Chad Brown wedding coming up.
Elsewhere is another fiancée, Maya Geller. Maya has put out a bet. It looks like her opponent folds, and she's got the pot.
You see, she's engaged to Patrik Antonius, so she's in a more upbeat mood than Vanessa.
And over at table 2 is her fiancé, Patrik Antonius, who was dealt pocket aces. Jason Lodi from Costa Mesa, California, caught a pair of kings on the flop. And he has moved all in. Almost 15,000 for Patrik to call.
Well, Patrik trapped Lodi in this hand by just smooth calling pre-flop with the pocket aces, but the all-in bet is pause for concern.
And Antonius will call and put Lodi at risk. Lodi works for a company that sells electricity. He's going to need to catch lightning in a bottle here against Patrick's aces.
Antonius, a cash game monster, still looking for his first bracelet, and here looking to knock out Lodi.
All right, now the turn card. Lodi at risk. And it is a jack and 2 pair for Lodi. He takes the lead.
So now Patrik Antonius can only knock out Lodi with an ace, deuce, or 4.
River card now is a deuce. It pairs the board, and aces up will beat kings up. Patrik turns things around and knocks off Jason Lodi.
Oh, well, that's life.
And it's a pretty good life for Patrik Antonius. Beautiful fiancée, beautiful baby girl, and chips to stack at the main event. Easy living.
He does find some luck, and that's required to keep grinding here at the main event. Back to our featured table, where we find Ray Romano.
I need somebody. I don't have anybody. Like when I go all in, I want somebody to, like, you're my guy. No, you're my guy. You're my guy. That's my all-in guy right there. If I double up, I go there.
I asked him to concentrate on the poker, and he's worried about entertaining. That's not good. I'll handle the jokes, Ray.
Ray reread Doyle Brunson's super system before this main event, so he is primed for success.
He burned him too, right?
Action on Romano. Ace-king, offsuit.
I'm pushing him.
Oh, he doesn't have much to push, just over 11,000, but Romano is all in.
I've got to worry about 2 guys at this table today, Jason Young and Ray Romano. It's a lot of responsibility.
Get a card at a crazy horse. Set that up.
Now that Ray's busy with poker, here's one for you, Lon. How do truckers win all their pots?
Set it up.
How?
On a semi-bluff. I told you I'd take care of the jokes. That's from Ezekiel Gouza of Poker News. He's helping me out.
All right, well, you do need help. All right, action folds around to Alexander Schwab. This guy knocked out Scotty Nguyen. Ace-jack.
I call.
And he calls from the big blind.
Ray at risk, but he's going to like it.
So Ray Romano, all his chips on the line against Alexander Schwab.
A semi-bluff line, get it?
Yeah. Ace-king for Romano against ace-jack for Schwab. Ray went out fairly early in last year's main event, didn't make the cash, trying to make a good run here now. Flop is 9-10-4.
Too much straight action.
Ace-king still good for Ray.
Yeah, Ray doesn't like it, he should.
King it right now.
Turn card is a queen.
Oh, no. Don't king it.
Straight draw for
2
Schwab.
clubs.
A king or an 8 knocks out Ray Romano.
2 clubs.
River card is a 5. Ray Romano, he's got his go-to guy. After the double up.
Suddenly he's a Vod Khan.
No more of that. No more of that. That's disrespectful, so that was it. Thank you.
That's it.
Oh, you're an entertainer. You're allowed to entertain a little.
Nice.
All right, thank you. I'm not going to do that no more, guys. Sorry.
Ray Romano once again with some chips to work with. We'll see if the funny man can stick to the business at hand and continue his run here at the main event. Semi-bluff.
The 2008 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by the World Series of Poker. Shouldn't you be playing for a bracelet next year? Pre-register at worldseriesofpoker.com.
Back at the Rio on the E-Trade Financial Tournament ticker, you see a list of the oldest main event winners. Johnny Moss holds the top 3 spots.
No one over the age of 40 has won the big one since Irishman Noel Furlong in 1999.
Speaking of venerable players, there's Howard Tahu Andrew, who's played in the World Series for 35 straight years.
That's the longest streak alive. He won bracelets on back-to-back days in 1976.
From Tahoe Andrew to young 22-year-old Brian Shadlick playing in his first World Series of Poker, and far and away the chip leader in this room.
I'll show you the prettiest card in the deck. How's that sound?
Ace of spades?
Where's Norman Chad when you need him?
Jason Young's already my designated little brother, but maybe I'll get bunk beds in the guest room and bring in Brian Shadlick.
From the guy who has the most chips in the room to the guy who usually makes the most noise in the room, Justin Phillips. He throws out a bet of $16,000 to pro Matt Glantz.
Glantz finished 4th at this year's Horse World Championship. Solid player, and unlike Justin Phillips, he wears a shirt with sleeves.
You got it.
Oh, Glantz will fold.
The cameras, every time the cameras come, you win a pot. Stick around! Isn't that weird? Nah. Every time. You're just seeing stuff, dude.
You may recall Phillips made a royal flush to beat quad aces on day 1.
And Justin picks up a few more chips right there.
That's all, folks.
Phillips, one of the more colorful characters in the house, and he relies on his antics to achieve success at the poker table.
My name's Justin Phillips. I just travel around playing poker, reading people, taking people's money. I got the hardest job in the world right here. It's just great. I love it. People put me on like loose aggressive. I'm actually a tight player, but I deceive people, and that's what poker's all about, deception. I'm loud and I'm singing. Willing to stick out my neck for respect if it meant life or death. Just trying to get under your skin a little bit, and then I bust you. Sometimes I say little things that I probably shouldn't have said. Are you a pro? You're not a pro? You only do it for fun? $10,000 is fun. But if I know they're just annoyed, it's life. Sorry, bro.
Everybody loves Raymer. Yeah. Give me some.
I'm just here to have fun, and I try to have fun. If you don't want to have fun, then take a hike.
He's having fun.
The walker. What's up, guys? You having fun?
I don't know if they are.
Don't be jealous.
He's not.
They're jealous. Ah!
All right, from Justin Phillips back over to our featured table where we find Ray Romano. Romano was actually sitting at that table when Justin Phillips got his royal flush. Oh, and joining our featured table as a spectator, Phil Laak.
Hi, Phil.
I mean, I told you 2 days ago that you were playing much better poker than last year.
Can you give me a
I'm
short?
not surprised.
Can you give me a short stack lesson in 10 words or less? No, don't.
Get lucky now.
Okay. Let me text that to myself.
Patience is still important.
All right.
Well done for making day 2 here.
Thank you. Who was that?
Lon, why doesn't Phil Hellmuth ever order pancakes at breakfast?
I don't know. Why not?
Because he hates the short stack.
Oh.
Ezekiel Gouza, my friends.
That's a good one. Pocket eights for Jason Young, enjoying the spoils of his first bracelet at his first World Series. He raises to 3,300. Ray Romano with King 9.
Phil!
He's looking for help already.
Because he hates the short stack, Lon.
Romano folds. Action on Tom Pill, 35 years old from Sweden, with ace-ace.
Oh, I don't like it. Jason, he has aces. Jason, he has aces.
He cannot hear you. Pill works at the Spy Bar nightclub in Stockholm. In charge of the music there. And raises to 9,200.
For Jason, it was do or die at this World Series. If he didn't make a score, he'd have to go find a new job. He won the bracelet. You see, he's wearing it, and $335,000.
And he makes a call with pocket eights against aces. Did you teach him that?
That's no good. You're giving away our chips, Jason.
All right, heads up. Young and Pill. The flop, 9 deuce 4. Nothing in there for Jason Young to be excited about. He checks. Pill with the aces. He's a World Series rookie also. And he's going to make it 18,000 to stick around.
Jason, man. Nice jacket, big bet over there. He's got to have you beat, my man.
Jason with pocket eights. Doesn't see too much on that board to worry him.
I'm worried.
Yeah, Jason should be, though.
I hope Ray doesn't tell him a joke. It'll throw him off. Jason was making $35,000 a year at the Parks apartment. Couldn't get a raise. Now he's sitting here next to Ray Romano at the main event with $300,000 in his pocket.
Ace King?
You're half right. That's not good enough.
Pumping Pill for information.
You smirking? I see you through the glasses. Your eyes are closed.
Jason says his goal is to make the money here, so I'll be surprised if he calls.
I got a pair. Good bet, man.
Jason?
He's got a hitch in his swing.
He does lay it down. Jason looked like he might make the call, but it's a smart laydown with that pocket pair, and that makes it the planter's good instinct moment.
Pocket 8's no good, right? I guess
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think so.
You don't think so, huh?
You're the pro.
Say what?
You are the pro.
I still don't know what you said.
You're the professional.
I'm the pro? 8s are no good then.
Yeah, not there they weren't. Jason's radar saved him some chips in that hand.
The Planter's Good Instinct moment is brought to you by Planters. Instinctively good.
The day before the main event began, there was another big event, the second annual Ante Up for Africa charity poker tournament. Organized by Don Cheadle and Annie Duke, it was a star-studded affair. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Charles Barkley, Adam Sandler among the big names who took part.
Yes, sir.
Ray Romano made it to the final table, but first place went to poker pro John Hennigan. Ray and John donated all of their winnings to the charity, and of course the charity was the big winner. They raised almost $500,000 to assist the humanitarian effort in Darfur. An 8th place finish for Ray in that tournament.
Well, you sound like Ben Affleck.
I sound like Ben Affleck?
Yeah, because I played with him the day before. Your voice sounds like him.
I'll take it.
You look like him 2%.
2%?
No.
I'd take 2%.
Yeah. Ray's involved in a number of charity events, both poker and golf functions. He's golf crazy. On the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Jason Young, King 4 suited.
Jason had a serious talk with his father just before the World Series. His dad said you either hit it big or you have to go work for the man. Nobody wants to work for the man.
Jason raises to almost 3 times the big blind, 2,300.
Call.
Romano with pocket 9s will make the call.
Ray Romano doesn't work for the man now, does he?
No, he is the man. Tom Pill. Ace 10 suited.
Actually, I fear this guy might be the man.
Look what you started now. Everybody's coming in behind here, too.
From the small blind, Tom Pill made the call. Action on the big blind. This is Liviu Ignat, 21-year-old student from Romania.
The type of student?
Engineering.
Man, you know it all.
Trey Deuce of Hearts.
From the big blind, Ignat wants in with 3 in the pot already.
4 players to the flop.
Pill might be the man.
Romano's pocket 9s ahead. It's 10 ace jack. 2 pair for Pill.
Told you he was the man.
Yeah, he is the man right now.
The man wears a white jacket and chews gum.
And bets 6,200 with aces up. Ignat. Trey Deuce. He folds. Now Young with 4 clubs to a flush. Calls for 6,200. He also has a straight draw.
Sorry.
Ray with a wild fold.
Deceptive upper body strength, Ray Romano.
Heads up, Pill and Young. No help to Young there. The 6 of spades on the turn. Pill ahead. And he's going to bet it. 9,000.
Jason getting just about the right pot odds to call here. He doesn't have a hand yet, though.
With flush and straight draws, he does make the call. River card is a queen, and that works for Young. Gets the check mark, hitting his straight.
Mullen.
Pill checks, and Young moves all in.
Jason not hesitating. His hand cannot be beat. You know, his other option here is he might have value bet it to make sure that Pill called, but he puts Pill in a big hand, and he thinks he might get a call here for 46,000 more.
He's right. Pill does have aces up.
To Jason's credit, he's got the same bored and disinterested look he had when he was bluffing.
Yeah, you're right. So Pill struggling right now with his decision. But he will fold.
Yeah.
A good fold from Pill. A nice pot for Young.
You don't need it.
Jason Young and Ray Romano, 2 New Yorkers getting along nicely here at this featured table. All right, let's head out to the outer tables in this vast Rio poker room. And we find another couple of New Yorkers. It looks like Eric Seidel will be sharing space with Steve Zolotow.
That's 2 alum of the famed Mayfair Club in New York now at the same table.
Bill Gates claims he's looking for an apartment in New York, and I said we should buy a building and you were going to finance.
Seidel, the 8-time bracelet winner, is not sure he wants to get involved there. There is Billy Gazes. He is involved in a hand. He's put out a bet, waiting for his opponent Stefan Ornay to act. Ornay looks confused, though.
No, it's on you.
Ornay thought the action was on Mark Garner. Time change got to the Frenchman, I guess.
That was one of the most tense hands so far.
Well, it felt like a big hand. It really wasn't.
Now Ornay knows the action's on him. He does
Man,
fold.
oh, man.
Garner folded, and Billy Gazes takes the pot.
We're playing poker. You're playing chess.
Bourdais still looks like he's not even aware he's in a card room right now.
Oh, and I don't think Barry Greenstein is either.
You know, Barry's a pro's pro, but I think someone stole most of his chips when he closed his eyes.
The main event is a grind. To the man who just edged Barry for the Player of the Year award, Erick Lindgren getting short on chips.
All in.
And he's decided to move all in for his last 8,300.
All in.
He's got a nice run, but he's running out of chips. Action on Brian Brubaker.
Brubaker, a 24-year-old pro. He played Division III baseball at Chapman University in Southern California.
Brubaker with Erick Lindgren's fate in his hands. Brubaker's in.
Good luck me.
And Erick Lindgren now is at risk.
Okay. Wow.
This could be the end of the line for the 2008 Player of the Year.
And now the flop. Not much there for Erick Lindgren. He needs some help quick. Turn card is no help.
Eric needs an ace or a jack.
River card is an 8, and that is going to do it. Erick Lindgren knocked out of the main event.
Always next year, I guess.
Congrats on that.
Thank you, sir.
A stellar year, but another short stay at the main event for Lindgren.
More frustration for Lindgren, who fails again to get by day 2 of the main event. Player of the Year or not, it's a long walk to the rail when you get knocked out of the big one. Welcome back to the Rio. Let's head over to table 2, where Patrik Antonius has been on a losing streak. Santeri Velikoski re-raised with pocket 10s. Patrik has pocket 8s and needs 8,400 to call.
Patrik won a European Poker Tour event in Austria in 2005 after he arrived 5 hours late and had half his chips blinded off.
All in.
All in.
Patrik's going to re-raise Velikoski all in.
All in.
All in, son.
Yeah, gets serious. Takes out the headphones. It's almost 28,000 more.
Pardon?
Call.
And he will call and put himself at risk.
Hands over, please.
He'll like what he sees.
You got me.
Yeah. Velikoski with 10s against Antonius's 8s.
Thank you, sir.
Flop ace, queen, 6. The 10s are still good for Velikoski.
Velikoski in great shape. Antonius could be staring at a short stack in a moment.
Turn card is a tray. Velikoski still good.
An 8 and an 8 only would knock out Velikoski.
It is another ace, and so Velikoski with a better 2 pair will double up through Patrik Antonius.
My time.
And the leak continues for Patrik Antonius. Elsewhere,
You know the Italian stallion at hand.
Silvio Formica is gone.
He just lucked out, that's all. The greatest player in the world got knocked out with a pair of 5s, and I got jacks. Tell me I ain't the greatest in the world.
Silvio, I think you are the greatest in the world, but you must report to the rail.
Let's catch up with Justin Phillips. Looks like he has won a pot.
I'm the man. Sorry.
And knocked off an opponent.
If Justin ever gets hold of some chips, he might buy a shirt.
Thanks for coming over, guys. I love you.
Just one of my old T-shirts would be nice.
At another table, Brian Shadlick hit top and bottom pair on the flop. His ace is up, leads the pair of aces held by Martin Klasser.
I'm all in.
And Klasser re-raises all in after the turn.
Ace jack.
And a call by Shadlick.
All in cold, cover 6.
Shadlick in good shape to pick up a lot more chips.
Shadlick, a 22-year-old from Ohio, his 2 pair look good.
And the 2 pair stand up through the river. And he does knock off Martin Klasser.
Sorry, man. No problem. I actually knew it. I had to lay it down. I knew it.
Can you believe that?
That is a lot of chips.
Boy, the 22-year-old cannot believe his good fortune in this main event.
A lot of chips.
So while Brian stacks his latest winnings, let's get back to the featured table. And one of our featured players, Ray Romano, who is now dropped below his starting stack of 20,000. His newest New York buddy, Jason Young, doing a little better. Action folds around to the blinds.
It's never happened yet. It's never happened yet. Never happened yet.
It feels as if these guys have known each other for years.
Jason Young with ace-9 in the small blind.
Let's take it easy here.
He'll limp in for 500.
Taking it easy would have been folded.
Ray Romano
I would have folded if it was really bad.
looks down at 10-4 off.
All right, go ahead.
Checks his option.
You know, these guys should live next door to each other.
All right, couple of New Yorkers to the flop. Ace-10 Trey.
Are they going to boo me if I beat you out of a hand?
Young with top pair, Romano with middle pair.
That's the fledgling poker pro against the veteran comedy pro. I like the poker pro's hand.
1,200 from Young. Ray with a pair of tens calls.
Turn card.
Turn card now. Is a deuce. A wheel draw for Ray.
She just got really quiet in here when they got into a hand with each other.
Yeah. Young makes it 1,200 again. And Ray calls again.
Ray looks like he's going through a bad comedy set.
River card is a queen. That missed Ray. Young gets the check mark.
Same bet. I like sitting next to her.
Boy, a tiny bet. It's a playpen bet.
And Ray will make the call, and Jason will take that pot. A slow bleeding of Ray Romano by Jason Young.
1,200 at a time.
Boo.
In small chunks, Ray gave up about a quarter of his stack to Jason Young.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Can't catch.
Jason's been catching pretty well.
Gloves are off, everybody.
Right now, Ray's bark is bigger than his bank. He's got some catching up to do.
The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio Poker Room. Let's get right over to table 2, where Patrik Antonius is getting short on chips. After the flop, though, he's got a great hand. Jacks up against Kip Jones, holding ace high. Antonius checked the flop. Jones bet 7,000.
Patrik was in the big blind this hand and called a pre-flop raise by Jones.
And Antonius moves all in for almost 17,000 chips.
Well, Jones tried to bluff right here. He's getting 3.5 to 1 on his money, but all he has is ace high. If he puts Patrik on just a pair, he might call here.
Call.
He does call. And Patrik Antonius at risk, but he's got the advantage right now.
Yeah, 2 pair. A big advantage for Patrik.
A much-needed double-up imminent if Patrik can hang on.
Put a 10 of spade there, or king of spade.
Patrik playfully calling out the cards that would knock him out.
Turn card, 10 of hearts. A double gut shot now for Kip Jones.
9 or a king knocks out Patrik.
And river card's another 10, and that's going to do it. Jacks up will win it for Antonius, and he does double up.
Piece of cake. Patrik never stood up, sipping some water.
I'm never going to lay down if the button raises a jack-7 offsuit. You think I'm crazy?
So double up for Patrik, and nearby his fiancée, Maya Geller, seems to be collecting another pot.
Actually, I just realized, Lon, I have not gotten wedding invitations from Patrik or Maya or from Vanessa or Chad.
You're right.
Oh, you don't think they're coming?
No, I don't. Brian Shadlick, our chip leader, is on the move. His table broken, so he has been transferred to a new table.
He doesn't even know where to go. I got work to do with him.
So Brian Shadlick with a whole new group of players to try and fleece.
Well, Brian getting oriented to his new surroundings.
Yeah.
Somebody famous?
Me? Just having a good time.
You have to ask someone if they're famous. They're probably not.
I got like 1 million more coming.
1 million more?
You ain't lying.
About 1 million. There he is.
Now they know he ain't lying.
We don't know if it's a million. We just
He's got a whole chip team.
He's had a good main event so far.
50, 250, 50, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40. It's 140,000. Okay, thanks.
Can you imagine sitting at this table and having these chips come over?
You've got to tip this guy, Brian. Tip him. Those chips are heavy.
The other players at this table hate having to face Shadlick and those chips, but if they knew about Brian and his real passion, they'd understand he's one of the good guys.
Hey, I'm a teacher. I do physical education, and I'm also a special education aide for autistic kids. Being a special education aide is one of the hardest things I've probably ever done in my life. Some days you wake up and you go, okay, I'm going to have to do the same thing I did for the last 2 months over again to get them to learn the material, because they had to go over and over every day the same thing. So the biggest thing that I've learned, what I do, is it has to be patience. At the poker table, at the tournament, if you think that you're going to win on day one, you're going to bust. In the classroom, you have to have patience with kids all the time. When you see a kid learn how to read for the first time, when you can see that little bit of progress and you want to come back the next day and do it again for the next 2 months ahead, it just makes it all the worthwhile. And that's why I love doing it. I wouldn't trade it in for anything.
The biggest challenge for Brian Shalik at the moment is counting all those chips while people stare at him.
Yeah. Back now to the featured table where another likable guy is not doing quite as well. Ray Romano, around 13,000 chips, working in survival mode right now. Action is on Ray. 9-8 of clubs. What to do, what to do. All in.
I don't think Phil Hellmuth would agree with that. Blinds are at 500 and 1,000. You still have 13,000 left, Ray.
Action on Tom Pill. Pocket sixes.
I mean, 9-8 suited all in. Jack Benny wouldn't have done that.
Pill in the small blind. Making Ray twist in the wind.
I call.
And he will make the call. Big blind folds.
Told you to catch me.
Ray, I asked you to concentrate on the cards. I asked you to take care of business at the table. This is how you reward me?
Start the car!
Yeah.
Call the crazy horse, get my table ready.
Romano all in and behind. Not anymore. Hits a pair of eights.
We're back in business. I'm with you again, Ray.
All right, so pair of eights over the pocket sixes. A queen on the turn. Ray's still good.
Eight up there.
Pill can only knock out Ray Romano with a river six.
Now the river card is a tray. Romano doubles up. He's still around.
Ray attempted to become the first stand-up comedian to win the main event. The dream is alive.
The Thomas Pill can't kill the comedian.
Ray has won 3 Emmys and a Screen Actors Guild Award, but never the main event.
Might have peed a little on that. Not gonna lie to you. That bad to say?
Taking care of the cards and the jokes. He's a superstar. Next Tuesday, it's day 2 times 2 as those remaining take their next main event step. And on November 11th, the highly anticipated final table. The November 9 will compete for the most coveted prize in poker every Tuesday night at 8 and 9 p.m. It's the World Series of Poker on ESPN.
The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, main event.
As the first day 2 session of the main event nears an end, the stakes rise.
Oh yeah!
Emotions run high.
Oh yeah!
As everyone claws to survive and make it to day 3. Inside the Rio Poker Room on the E-Trade Financial Tournament ticker, some notable chip counts. Brian Shalik is the chip leader in the room, over 800,000. Patrik Antonius with a lot of work to do, and LA pro Chino Rheem over 300,000. He's in a hand right now with fellow pro Billy Gazes. Gazes has the check mark, but Rheem has put out a bet of 3,500.
3,500. I promise you as friends I don't have a flush.
Why don't you promise him as a friend that you have Queen 10? Chino's got squad douche, and he's trying to scallywag his fellow pro.
Gazes with those 10s makes the call, and we'll take the 5.
Billy Gazes has 29 World Series cashes. Where's the bracelet, though, buddy?
Thank you. We don't mind giving Billy D some chips. Played it a little different.
Well, he played it in a winning fashion. Chino Rheem, 5 cashes the World Series, also without a bracelet.
All right, let's go nearby and check on Vanessa Rousso. After the river card, her opponent Kevin Schaefer checked the action to her. Vanessa checks as well. And Schaefer now shows a pair of 6s for the win.
Wow.
Vanessa's not happy.
There's so many outs. Jesus. God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. 15 outs twice. Ah!
If you're getting married, you got to get used to disappointment.
No more bracelets to hand out except to the main event winner, and that ceremony will take place November 11th here at the Rio. All right, back to action at our featured table, and Comedian Ray Romano still sticking around. He looks down at ace, jack of hearts.
He's more than a comedian now. I mean, he's an icon. He's a gazillionaire.
3.
Still a funny guy. Raises to 3,000.
Lon, what's an aggressive player's favorite fruit?
Tell me.
Raisin. I believe my portion of the show is over, and I'd like to thank Ezekiel Guza for his contributions.
Thank you, Ezekiel. Julian Veloff with pocket tens.
Have I mentioned I don't trust engineers in sunglasses?
Yeah, a couple of times.
I just want to make sure I'm on the record.
He's going to make the call for 3,000. Veloff is an engineer in Paris at his first World Series. He's only been playing poker for a couple of years.
You know, Ray originally wanted to be an accountant. Those would be some funny tax returns.
Wow, yeah.
Don't trust him.
Romano and Veloff heads up to the flop. Flop is king, 7, king. Veloff still leads. Romano with a nut flush draw.
You know I'm rooting for the comedian against the engineer. I have no choice.
Romano checks his flush draw.
Don't trust this guy.
Veloff checks his 2 pair. Turn card now is a heart, and Romano hits his nut flush. Veloff now needs a king or a 10 to make a full house.
Ray not sure what to do. His writers aren't here. Bet, my friend.
He does bet 3,000. A little less than half that pot.
What exactly do engineers do, Lon?
I'm not sure.
Exactly.
This one, though, calls.
Don't trust him.
To the river card. Queen of spades. Romano has the check mark with that made flush.
Ray is deliberate. He wants to play good poker. He doesn't want to make a mistake. But if he doesn't bet soon, I am taking his show out of syndication. Bet!
Doesn't have that many chips left.
Bet!
And Romano bets 10,000.
I like that bet.
Yeah.
Phil Hellmuth, Jason Young, and I all approve.
Veloff now with his pocket tens and the kings on board.
Well, I'll tell you this about Veloff. You know, I think if the engineer takes off the sunglasses, he will fold. If he leaves them on, he will call.
He leaves them on and calls.
I know my engineers.
And Ray shows the winning flush. Veloff sees that his cards are worthy of the muck.
Now we won one.
That was what you were asking for.
Just in time for Ray.
I was worried about I just thank you. I was worried about the full house.
Like a king, queen or something like that.
Oh, man, engineers never fill up. Still don't trust them.
Still alive. I don't want to go home.
I feel for you, buddy.
You don't know what's waiting for me there.
Romano was close to going out a short while ago, but he has thoughts about playing on day 3 now. This Poker Fact is brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net. If you have a flush draw on the flop, there's only about a 35% chance of making the flush. As they say, let the buyer beware.
The 2008 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by the World Series of Poker. Shouldn't you be playing for a bracelet next year? Pre-register at WorldSeriesOfPoker.com.
It's a much quieter Rio poker room right now. Over 1,200 players started this day 2 session. Under 500 remain. At table 2, Patrik Antonius still short on chips. In a hand with Gaetano Buddha right now. Patrik with queen 6 off. Buddha 7-5 suited. Now the flop and a pair of queens for Antonius. A gut shot straight draw for Buddha. Patrik checked.
Patrik had been in the big blind and got rewarded on the flop.
Buddha checks also. Turn card now is a 7. Pairs Buddha, but he's still behind. Patrik will lead out with 6,500.
Top pair for Antonius.
Buddha with his straight draw on a pair of 7s calls.
Buddha with a loose call there, plus he had told himself to not get involved with Patrik.
A 6 on the turn gives Buddha a straight and the check mark.
What a disaster river card for Patrik.
He leads out with 14-5.
With a card that gives Patrik 2 pair, gives Buddha the straight.
I'm all in.
And Buddha will push. And to call, Patrik will need most of his chips.
Patrik's gotten very unlucky here on the river. And it's hard for him to put Buddha on a 5. I mean, he raised pre-flop, so you figure Buddha has high cards?
Never 9-10.
Say that again?
9-10 you have?
No.
You don't have 9-10? You swear you don't have 9-10?
9-10 would also give Buddha a straight.
It doesn't really matter. I guess I just fold my. I just let it go. I just take it. Just bluff me out.
No, not a bluff, but Buddha still wins that pot.
Patrik Antonius with the right decision, but a dwindling chip stack.
His fiancee's chip stack moving in the other direction. Maya Geller continues her winning ways at another table.
Now, who's wearing the pants in that family, huh? Huh?
So it's good news, bad news for that couple. Over to Barry Greenstein now. Barry getting short on chips. He's got under 17,000, but they all go into the pot with a re-raise. He holds ace-jack of spades, putting himself at risk. Action back to Donald Norton, 23-year-old Irish World Series rookie, says call, and Barry Greenstein is behind and all in.
Barry, another one of my favorites. Bad news for the home team. Barry finds the wrong time to wake up with ace-jack suited.
And the flop is a bunch of blanks. No help to Barry Greenstein. Turn card doesn't help him.
Greenstein's going to need a jack.
River card is an 8, and that is going to do it. Donald Norton knocks off Barry Greenstein.
The great Barry Greenstein. Hate to see him get knocked out.
And the 3-time bracelet winner, as is his custom, will sign over a copy of his book to the man who knocked him out.
The only problem I have with Barry signing his book, people are waiting for that seat. It just causes a backup in the room.
Not even an ace on the river would have saved Barry Greenstein from elimination. Back to our feature table where Ray Romano has officially outlasted one of the best players in the world.
Who's one of the best players in the world?
Barry Greenstein.
Oh, right. I like him.
Romano with pocket 8s.
You know, Everybody Loves Raymond was a terrific TV show, but it's only number 37 on my all-time list of great sitcoms.
Is That's My Mama on your list?
101.
Romano raises a 3,000 with pocket 8s over to Leave You Ignat, 21-year-old Romanian player. He looks down at ace tray of hearts.
This is another engineering student with sunglasses. You see what my man Ray is up against all day?
Tough table. He's going to make the call for 3,000. Action behind him folds. And so Romano will go heads up against the young Romanian. Flop is 7-4 deuce. A pair of 8s still good for Romano, but what a drawing hand for Ignat. Straight and flush draws. Ray bets 6,000.
Well, for Ray, that looks like a non-threatening board to his pocket 8s.
Ignat, though, is putting together more than 6,000. He does raise it to 18.
If I'm Ray, that raise tells me I'm behind. Well, actually, Ray's ahead, but, he's behind. But he's ahead. Okay, I'm a little confused.
Poker is a confusing game at times.
Ray's 8s are best right now, but Ignat is favored with his flush and straight draws.
All in.
Ray pushes with those 8s.
Oof.
Now Ignat's going to figure, does he have the right price? Does he have the right cards?
How much more?
It'll cost him almost 25,000 more.
Call.
And he does call.
You got a pair?
No.
Not a pair.
Boy, I would not have gone all in there if I were Ray, but I would have figured Ignat holding even a bigger hand. Ray now in a coin flip, he'll either be sitting pretty or he'll be sitting at home.
Now looking good. Huh?
So Ray Romano once again at risk. It's a heart on the turn, and Ignat with a flush and the check mark.
Man, all my guys keep getting knocked out.
Just like that, Ray Romano eliminated. He'd been on a nice run.
Good luck. What do I got?
He says his farewells.
Good luck. Good luck.
Well, my funny guy, Ray Romano, is out, but I still got my other guy, Jason Young. Hang tough, buddy.
That hurt. That hurt.
If I push Chris, you promise to call me?
I can't promise. If I have an ace, no, you have too much.
Just trying to find out who's going to call when I push.
If I have a hand, I'll call.
You always have a hand. I got a hand right now.
Very true.
So,
Very true.
If you're a man of your word, you'll call.
Put it in there and we'll find out.
Chris finished day one with about 69,000 chips. Cloney is below the 20,000 chip starting stack. On the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Camp, 10-8 for Moneymaker. He folds. A very powerful featured table here with Moneymaker, Cordovez, Gowan, and Einhorn. Diego Cordovez looks down at ace-jack of diamonds from the small blind.
Diego made 7 World Series final tables between 2000 and 2004.
Diego limped in Cloney Gowan with king-6 of hearts in the big blind. Cloney. A bit short stacked, and she's going to raise it. 2,500 total.
Cloney likes to be aggressive, and she senses weakness. Well, I guess she sensed wrong.
Diego raises all in.
All right, how much you got?
Cloney knew she would have to stir the waters early to get some chips, but she's run into an even more determined Cordovez.
Y'all woke up ready to gamble today, didn't you?
Yeah, apparently I did.
I don't know if Cloney woke up wanting to gamble this much with King 6.
All right.
And Cloney will lay it down.
And that's about as much emotion as you will see out of Diego.
Thanks, yeah.
And Diego picked up some much-needed chips from Cloney Gowan right there. Two very skilled pros with an early skirmish at this featured table. It's going to take some solid poker chops tonight to advance to day 3.
Well, Norman, there certainly is no shortage of talent at this featured table, and quite a bit of talent in the field as well. 7 main event champions are in action, including the man who helped kick off the poker craze and the most recent beneficiary of that boom.
Lon, poker has been very good to Chris Moneymaker and Jerry Yang. In turn, they both have been very good for poker. Few would argue the impact that Moneymaker has had on the game, and few would argue that Yang is among the nicest ever to win the big one. Now, these two distinct champions will do their best to survive day 2.
We've seen the Moneymakers in good shape at our featured table. Over at table 2, defending champ Jerry Yang has about 30,000 chips starting the day. He's in a hand right now with St. Louis attorney Steve Stolz. Jerry with ace-jack of spades. He called the pre-flop raise by Stolz, who has Yang dominated. The flop is deuce 9 king. That missed both. Stolz still ahead. He checks. Jerry Yang loves some early momentum. That's 3,300.
Jerry says the night before last year's main event final table, he decided he'd be the aggressor, partly because he was short-stacked and partly because his opponents were tight.
Stolz lays down the best hand.
Good lay down.
Yeah, good lay down for you, you overachieving social worker.
That means it was a bad lay down. No, you did. You made a good lay down.
There's no law against lying to a lawyer at a poker table.
So aggression and reputation perhaps accounted for that win by Jerry Yang. Jerry trying to become the first main event champion in 20 years to win back-to-back titles. The last person to do that was this man, Johnny Chan. Johnny in a hand right now. Put out a big bet and gets his opponent to fold.
Johnny Chan's got the name, he's got the game, but he has not cashed in the main event since 1992.
Nice hand, Mr. Chan.
I don't know if it was a nice hand or not. That was a good play.
The only reason Johnny Chan did not three-peat was because of this guy. Phil Hellmuth beat Johnny heads up for the title in '89. Phil in a hand right now with Bobby Law.
I wish I could be at this table.
Phil Laak, an anxious spectator. Law put out a bet and Phil lays it down.
The poker brat seldom folds without comment.
Oh, Law shows that he bluffed Phil out of his chips.
You know I'm gonna have to take you out now, right?
If it weren't for luck, thank God about the luck stuff.
But why, hey Phil, check in 5 hours. I'll have all of his orange chips, I think, by then.
Eventually, my man has everyone's orange chips.
2005 world champ Joe Hachem is also playing today. He just re-raised all in with pocket queens against the pocket eights of Asher DeRay. And DeRay will call and put Joe at risk. Hachem ahead.
All right. This could be quick and sweet.
Well, if Joe loses, it will be quick, but not sweet.
Yeah. Flop is good for Joe. His queens are still best. Turn card, he's got a royal flush draw now.
Hachem has to dodge an 8.
And it's a 4. No royal, but Hachem doubles up anyway.
That wasn't so quick, but it was sweet.
We seldom see Joe Hachem get his money in bad. He was in good shape there.
Joe has about $300,000 in tournament earnings over the last 12 months. Now, back to our featured table. One of our top pros here has moved all in. Cloney Gowan with pocket eights, hoping to come from behind against Cameron Hamilton's pocket tens.
Cloney's got about the same short stack Hachem had, but she's behind.
I'm a favorite, actually. Eights come out more often than tens. It's like a 4-to-1 favorite. How eights pop out more than tens. It is, yeah.
Wishful thinking. The flop, well, no eights in there. Hamilton still ahead.
But it usually comes on the turn.
The eternal optimist.
Now she's sucking me out. This is really weird me out.
Turns a deuce.
Now it's going to have to come on the river.
Cloney in good spirits, but only an 8 will keep a smile on her face.
River card. It's a no. And Chino Rheem has been eliminated from this main event.
One of our top pros is gone. Well, we couldn't lose one of the guys from the table?
Chino is always missed when she takes her leave, and she'll take her coffee to go. Chino Rheem knocked out of the big one.
Good luck to you, okay? Maybe you'll win the main event.
We'll see. We'll see. Thank you.
The 2008 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by the World Series of Poker. Shouldn't you be playing for a bracelet next year? Pre-register at worldseriesofpoker.com.
Back inside the Rio, a look at our E-Trade Financial Tournament ticker with a reminder of the chip colors and their worth. This year's main event has over 136 million chips in play. To the field, we find Grant Hinkle. Looks like he has been eliminated. Both he and his brother Blair won bracelets at this World Series as he gets props from his uncle on the rail. But a pair that still has chips, six-time bracelet winner Nguyen and his wife Van.
My lovely lady, my wife. I did so good, huh? Didn't I? WPT champion, first lady. Just say something to the camera. Oh, you can eat, baby.
I don't think so.
Say it.
I don't think so.
Elsewhere, an old school, new school matchup. The seasoned Mike Matusow engaged in battle with top internet player, 21-year-old Andrew Roble. Matusow was put out a bet to Roble. Roble thinks better of it and folds.
I know he's coming after me. Don't worry. This ain't the internet.
This ain't the internet. One of Mike's favorite lectures.
An internet move ain't gonna work here because I can see him and I can see what he's doing.
Mike's on his game. Also in the field, two imposing pros squaring off. Howard Lederer has moved all in with ace-king against the pocket nines of Jean-Robert Bellande. Flop now. 6-10 deuce. That misses Lederer. Bellande still ahead. Turn card. It's a tray, no help to Howard.
Lederer needs an ace or a king.
River card is a 6, and that's going to do it. Howard Lederer is gone.
The professor made the final table in his first main event ever in 1987. It's been 20-plus years of frustration since then. He's only cashed in the main event one other time.
Maybe the most entertaining duo of the day, two Las Vegas pros, Phil Laak and Michael Carroll. Carroll was sitting next to Jerry Yang on day one. Today's going to be a little different.
Swing around, I'll show you my hand. Swing around. You want to see my hand? Swing around.
I'm giddy with anticipation, Lon.
Phil Laak wants to show us his cards. Ooh, pocket aces.
Don't be looking in the lens to get the,
Phil Laak keeps it light and loose at the table.
His opponent is Andrew West in seat 9, and he's going to give it up.
Chemical Brothers, baby, Chemical Brothers. Man, Chemical Brothers is the best. When you're getting good hands, you want Chemical. Bad hands,
that's how it goes.
Bad hands, fold with Billy Joe. Chemical Brothers.
Phil Laak is always the consummate showman at the poker table, and day one of this main event was no different as he took his antics to an entirely new level.
I saw an old episode of Jackass, and Johnny Knoxville was doing his old man stuff. It just clicked. I went, that's what it is. I'm gonna be the old man. I just decided if somebody said, what's your name at the table, I was gonna say Walter. And in my mind, I was gonna be like a chicken farmer in Bangor, Maine. I sat in the makeup chair 6 hours. It was as good as you can do with 1 day notice, but it was not tight. I didn't want to spend more than like 10 seconds talking to anybody because if you looked at me, it was like I was a carnival creation of somebody's imagination.
I had you 80%.
I started conversations, but mostly I just nodded and was like, nice hand. That chicken coop got away on that one. Whatever I could come up with, you know.
They came out from the barn and they're all geniuses.
It was worth it, but I wouldn't do it again. It was incredibly time-consuming. Walter will not be making another appearance. I guess it's kind of like a marathon. You do it once and that's enough for any human.
He ran out of time, so he could only put makeup on one of his hands. He chose his left hand, even though he is right-handed, because he wanted to force himself to use his left hand so he would fumble the chips a little bit, and he just kept his right hand under the table.
That is one complicated stunt. Phil Laak owns no bracelets. Of course, he and the rest of the field fighting for that main event bracelet. A number of players who own one are still in action. One of them, Chris Moneymaker at our feature table, who has pocket queens.
Since Moneymaker won the big one 5 years ago, he's cashed in just 3 World Series events.
He raises the action to $1,500 over to Eli Adler, a 22-year-old stock trader from Philadelphia.
And Eli is a very good chess player.
Ace-6 raises to 4,500.
Well, maybe chess is his better game.
Action on David Einhorn, and he folds.
Man, there are a lot of smart people at this table.
Back to Moneymaker. Moneymaker with pocket queens just makes the call. So he and Adler will go heads up to the flop. You mentioned his chess prowess. Adler was a national chess champion in 3rd grade. The flop is King 9 Jack. Pair of queens still good for Moneymaker. He adds a straight draw, and he checks.
It's pretty simple. Most flops are heads up. The most aggressive player wins the pot most of the time.
Moneymaker checks. Adler checks.
Nobody listens to me. Nobody.
Turn card now. 5 of diamonds, no help to Adler. Moneymaker still with a big advantage.
It's pretty simple. Most turns are heads up. The most aggressive player wins the pot most of the time.
Moneymaker checks. Adler now being aggressive, 5,100.
There you go. He bet 5,000 with nothing. I believe the pot is his.
So Moneymaker's going to shrink away, you're saying?
Yes.
Moneymaker with the call.
Okay, I didn't plan on that.
All right, heads up to the river now. And 9 of clubs gives Moneymaker the check mark.
Well, it's pretty simple, Lon. Most rivers are heads up. The most aggressive player wins most of the time.
Moneymaker trying to figure out why Adler is still around. He's going to make it 7,500. So now it's Moneymaker, right?
If Adler comes over the top, I don't know what Moneymaker does. I mean, it's been a while since he won the main event. Do it, kid.
What do you got over there? What are you thinking about? Queens. King scares you?
Pop him. Pop him, Eli. And if Chris calls, I apologize.
That's a good bet.
Adler will lay it down.
Chris still a champ. He knew where he was at in that hand.
Plenty of potential danger on that board. Perhaps cause for concern for Moneymaker, but he still felt his queens were best. And that is the Planter's Good Instinct moment.
The Planters Good Instinct moment is brought to you by Planters. Instinctively good. The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, main event.
Back inside the Rio Poker Room on a day we could call Champions Day, with 7 past world champions in action, including the current champ Jerry Yang with ace-queen. He'll see a flop with Blake Stepp, who played pro basketball in Europe. Stepp is behind with ace-10. Flop is Jack-King 4. Ace-queen for Yang is still best.
Jerry says he still considers himself a true rookie, but if you're at the table with him, you're playing against a main event champ.
Both players with straight draws to the ace. Stepp checked. Jerry bets 4,000. And Stepp will fold.
Everyone's so serious.
We were just worried that Jerry might go bust and then we wouldn't be on TV anymore.
Stay as long as you can, all right?
I'm gonna try. You know, my goal is to win back-to-back, so it's gonna be rough and tough, but
my goal is to win back-to-back divorce cases. It is rough and tough.
Jerry's got one of the great Las Vegas stories, but topping that is the one of Archie Karras, who ran his bankroll up to $40 million over the course of 3 years.
Of course, Archie not only went from 0 to $40 million, he then went from $40 million to 0 in 2 years.
Archie made a bet, now facing a raise from Cornell Pizarra. Pizarra was Mike Matisso's nemesis at the featured table on day 1. And Archie shows a 7 and lays it down. Pizarra will take that pot.
That guy bluffed you? He's tough, man. I gave him 27,000 chips on day
Archie's been bluffed by the best in his life.
This guy pro over here, should I watch out for him, Mike?
Archie?
Yeah.
Watch out for his chips coming your way.
Archie made a final table at this year's World Series in the Raz event, where Barry Greenstein won a bracelet. Across the room is a man who has broken his own record of being the oldest to ever play in the main event, 95-year-old Jack Urey.
Good job.
But Jack Urey has been knocked out.
Thank you, everybody. Maybe I'll do better next year.
Maybe next year I'm picking Jack Urey instead of Phil Ivey.
The main event always filled with incredible people and inspirational stories, and none more so than that of Mike Wilson. Mike was born with no arms, but still handles the rigors of long hours at the poker table quite well. Mike managed to work his way through a treacherous day 1 with 16,000 chips. Right there, he wins a small pot.
Mike was knocked out quickly in the only other main event he played in 2 years ago.
It is quite amazing how Mike handles his chips and his cards just using his foot. Mike's strongest asset, though, may be his mental toughness. He has never let his condition keep him from living a full life.
Where people say to me, you know, how long did it take you to learn how to do that?
My standard answer is, how long did it take you? My parents had to fight a little bit to get me into elementary school. And then when I went into high school, they told me that I would either have to be in a wheelchair or walk or something like that. So now I had to learn how to walk, so I did. Basically, I can do everything that you can do, more or less. I mean, except for dressing and undressing myself. But that's about it, really, that I can't do. I went parasailing and swam with the dolphins in Mexico. Then the ultimate thrill of all this was skydiving. And that was, like I say, very, very exciting.
Fantastic.
Well, I try to enjoy life, yeah. So.
Mike quit poker for a long time and started playing bridge, but now he plays poker more than bridge.
Yeah, Mike used to only travel with his family, but bridge taught him he could travel on his own. And after the main event, he's going to be representing the northwestern region of North America in a national bridge tournament right here in Las Vegas.
Short stacks.
Yeah, Mike was short to begin the day, but he's picked up a couple small pots, so we'll keep an eye on him. Back now to our featured table, where we have lost one of our top pros in Cloney Gowan, but here's another one. Diego Cordovez looks down at pocket fours.
Diego learned to play when he was 6 years old. His first grade teacher used poker to teach the class arithmetic.
I wish I had that teacher.
Yeah, we'd both have a bracelet.
Or at least I would.
Good for you.
Raised to 1,300. To Angelo Sargenti, 55-year-old World Series rookie with ace-queen. He re-raises it to 3,300. Action folds around the table back to Cordovez.
Diego always looks a little unhappy at the table. He's just thinking.
He calls for 2,000 more. The flop now is 4 deuce 8. A set of fours increases Cordovez's advantage.
See, he still looks like he's got a paternity suit pending.
Cordovez slow plays the set. Sargenti now with a stab at it of 2,500.
I don't blame Sargenti for firing, but he's come to a gunfight with a knife.
Cordovez raises to 6,500.
And that should be end of story.
Sargenti continues to write the chapter.
I said that should be end of story. That was an easy fold for Sargenti.
To the turn. It's an ace that pairs Sargenti, but Cordovez earns the check mark. Cordovez checks again.
Ugh.
All in.
Sargenti pushes.
I call.
Cordovez will call.
No thinking needed there from Diego.
No, and Sargenti was drawing dead, so that will be the end of his main event.
Once again, this is the most emotion you will see out of Diego.
Sargenti gone, but a key win for the man nicknamed D-Train. Cordovez began the day short stack, but he has found his groove. This Poker Pack is brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net. If you're dealt a pocket pair, the chances of flopping a set are pretty slim, so don't bet the house on it. Next Tuesday, the entire main event field finally comes together as the race for the money is on. And on November 11th, the highly anticipated final table. The November 9 will compete for the most coveted prize in poker. Every Tuesday night at 8 and 9 p.m., it's the World Series of Poker on ESPN. Back at the Rio, a talented threesome still at our featured table, including the 2006 18th place finisher David Einhorn.
Cornell, man.
World Series bracelet winner from 2000, Diego Cordovez.
Stanford, man.
And the 2003 main event champion, Chris Moneymaker.
Tennessee, man.
And one of the other players joining that trio, Tommy Johansson, 29, from Sweden, on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam Ace-9 offsuit.
I have no idea where he went to school. Maybe Sweden Community College.
He does raise the action with Ace-9 to 1,600 to Chris Moneymaker with Ace-Jack of Hearts.
To those who still question Moneymaker's poker skills, Chris simply says, I have validated myself to myself.
He makes the call for 1,600 on Cordovez now. Ace-Queen of diamonds. The aces keep getting bigger.
Everyone with an ace. Diego in the small blind.
1,350 more. He makes the call. Anton Bergstrom, another Swedish player. 7-5 of hearts, and he'll make the call.
I think he went to Sweden Community College, too.
4 players to the flop. Flop is 8-7 deuce. Bergstrom pairs his 7 and takes the lead. Cordovez first to act. He checks. Bergstrom, pair of 7s, is the best hand, and he checks. Johansson checks as well. Chris checks behind him.
Jeez, it's like a morgue out there.
Turn card now when the case ace hits 3 players. Cordovez, though, has the best kicker with the queen.
Ceylon, this side of the table's wearing sunglasses, so they can't even see the board. And this side of the table isn't wearing shades, so everything is clear to them.
Cordovez checks the best hand. Bergstrom checks as well. Joe Hansen checked, and now Moneymaker is going to step to the plate, bets 3,000.
Chris thinks he has the best hand.
Cordovez with the call. He does have the best hand. Bergstrom folds. Johansson, head in hand, he folds. So heads up, Moneymaker and Cordovez.
Diego with the advantage, plus he's going to be able to see the river better than Chris.
8 on the river. The queen kicker will play. Cordovez earns the check mark. Action on Diego.
Both might be worried that the other one has an 8 or clubs in the hole.
Cordovez checks. Moneymaker can only win this by betting, but he checks as well. And Cordovez turns over the best hand.
Aces and eights with
And a
jack for Chris.
tidal wave of emotion from Diego.
With aces and eights with a queen kicker.
Good hand.
Lucky today. Shoots around on the flop.
I don't know. You seem kind of skilled. You seem pretty skilled to me today.
A little of both.
Well, you're not unlucky. You've been unlucky.
Diego has made a name for himself in the poker world, but it's a name he shares with his father, a well-known diplomat who you could say has a couple of notable entries in his resume.
Well, my dad spent his whole life as a diplomat, Undersecretary General of the UN, negotiated the Soviet withdrawal from Afghanistan, mediated the Iran-Iraq War, and then he was foreign minister and chancellor of Ecuador. What I like is the fact that if you go to Google, since we have the same name, you know, first entry, withdrawal of Soviet troops, second entry, $300 limit hold'em tournament at the Bike, third entry, peace negotiations with Colombia. That puts in perspective where the poker fits in. My father always said, go into something where you control your own destiny. Poker is something where if you have the right attributes, you can rise to the top and make a good life. And for me, poker obviously is primarily a very selfish pursuit where you don't have a much positive impact on the world directly. So long ago, I just gave up on trying to rationalize it, trying to defend it. You know, I like what I do. I'm not going to change the world the way he did, and that's just my destiny.
His father negotiated the Soviet withdrawal from Afghanistan. My father once negotiated a better room rate for us from Ramada Inn.
I was Diego in Spanish class in high school and all
That's
that
interesting
stuff.
because Diego is actually James.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Just
Diego originated as a nickname for Jaime, like Bob or Robert. So that's why they're really the same name.
Interesting.
So while a couple of smart guys hash out that name thing, let's go to the outer tables. We've mentioned how strong this field is. Number of top pros who have won multiple bracelets in action, including 5-time bracelet winner Alan Cunningham. He started the day with about 49,000 chips in hand with Mirko Savoni right now. Alan throws out a bet.
Cunningham 4 cashes at this World Series, including 1 final table.
Savoni calls, and it looks like he called Alan's bluff.
Boy, you know, if he bets, you're supposed to lay it down. He's Alan Cunningham.
Alan runs into one of the many landmines the pros have to navigate in the main event. 2-time bracelet winner Jennifer Harmon started today with 63,000. Jennifer's got a couple of aces. Her opponent, ace-king, and that means the end of the day for Tarjei Forrest.
Jen has only cashed once at this World Series, but she's got twin boys to look after now, plus Marco.
Elsewhere is the 2006 Player of the Year, Jeff Madsen. He won his 2 bracelets that year, and he wins a pot there.
And remember at that 06 World Series, Jeff Madsen got 2 bracelets and 2 third places in a 3-week period.
Bulldozer.
Jeff is hijacking that battle cry from this guy, Havad Khan, who is noticeably more subdued this year after an anti-celebration rule went into effect in his honor.
Yeah, Havad Khan brought us the Havad Khan rule, and he continues to be very, very mellow.
Get some hand. You must get some hand. Raising every hand. I really do.
I had aces twice, kings, and ace king already. You believe me? Did you believe me?
No, man.
No, you don't believe me? Okay.
Let's check in on 89 champ Phil Hellmuth. When we last saw him, he was being bluffed by Bobby Law. These two are hooked up again. This time, Bobby is the one folding.
There is no Phil Hellmuth rule. He can still be Phil Hellmuth.
No more bluffs.
All right, guys.
One around.
Guys, take it easy.
I don't know. You're kind of guy might not be around in 2 hours. No, I'll have the goods because I'm going to just check and slow play it.
I wouldn't want there to be a Phil Hellmuth rule.
All right, let's get back to table 2 where Jerry Yang and Blake Stepp are once again heads up. And once again, Jerry has the best of it pre-flop. His ace-queen versus the king-queen for Stepp. Flop now is queen, tray, king. That's huge for Stepp. King's up, and that also paired Jerry's queen.
Jerry says he takes a cold shower in the morning during tournaments to stimulate him. You know when I take a cold shower, Lon.
Again, Norman, too much information. Yang bets 4,000.
It does stimulate Jerry to play aggressively with the inferior hand.
Stepp with his 2-pair, just with a call. Turn card now is another king, and Stepp earns the check mark with a full house. And Jerry Yang, the defending champ, is reaching for chips, drawing dead.
And Jerry in a lot of trouble now with a dwindling chip stack and putting more chips out into a pot he cannot win.
10,000 chip bet from Jerry Yang.
Stepp drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2004.
Just with another call, maybe hoping to get more chips out of Jerry on the river.
Well, Stepp's got Jerry right in his sights right now.
9 on the river. Stepp already has the check mark with a full boat. Yang first to act, and he slows down just to check.
And that is Stepp's cue to bet.
And he will indeed. About half the pot, 15,000.
Well, Jerry wondering if he was rivered, but he was behind from the flop on.
Jerry's dad looking on as his son is at a critical moment here.
The champ in a tough spot. He doesn't want to give away this pot, but if he calls here, he'll have virtually no chips left.
I call.
A big crowd watches as the world champion gives away almost all of his chips. Wow.
Not going Jerry Yang's way.
Oh, what a turn.
Hey, you had him crushed on the flop.
Yang's dad watching a very different main event than he witnessed last year. His son down to 2,300 chips.
Bad read on that one.
A big win for Blake Stepp, but a huge misstep for the defending champion.
The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio and this talent-laden field with a lot of gamble in it. So let's see what Phil Laak's up to. Laak's opponent, Jose Gomez, has laid out a bet, but Laak is not quite sure what to do.
I'm going to pay him to see the hand after I fold.
How much?
Sir, how much would you like? Cash money to see your hand.
You
How
have the
much?
best hand. Bluff.
15. You got to show for 15. For 15.
Show him the bluff. Show him the bluff. Show him the bluff.
Nothing? No money?
Show him the bluff.
He shows him anyway.
Wow.
Pocket queens for Gomez, wins the hand.
Really?
At another table, a player who loves to get his chips in the middle is Gus Hansen, but often it's so hard to know what cards he's playing.
When you're playing Gus, sometimes you don't even know what your own cards are anymore.
His opponent is confused enough to fold, and Gus Hansen will take that pot.
Gus Hansen still looking for a World Series breakthrough. He looks like he should have a bracelet.
And then there's the biggest gambler of them all, Archie Karras, who just flopped 2-pair and moved all in. But Aaron Alameda flopped a better 2-pair and called. Archie is in trouble.
Archie with 1 foot out the door here.
Turn card now is a 9 and possibly 1 card left for Archie Karras.
Archie now needs a 9 or a 3 to stick around.
It is a deuce, and that's going to do it. Alameda wins the pot and knocks off Archie Karras.
Hello, Arch. No good?
2-pair.
The mouth with an ill-timed greeting.
Good luck, everybody.
Archie with 3 World Series cashes in his career, but will leave empty-handed from this main event.
The $40 million man will find another place to gamble.
All right, on the other side of the Milwaukee's Best Light No Limit Lounge, we go back to our featured table. Chris Moneymaker in action. Ace, queen of clubs.
The year Chris won the main event, 839 players in the field. The next year, 2,576 players.
He does raise the action to 1,600. Quite a moneymaker effect it was. Action on Gerhard Meyer. He has pocket trays, and he makes the call of 1,600. Adler will fold on Cordovez.
Diego's steaming about something right now. I can see it in his face. He's just steaming.
Action folds over to David Einhorn. Einhorn looks down at 10, 9 of clubs.
This guy is rich, and he's smart, and he's charitable. I don't like him.
And he's aggressive. He raises it to 6,000. Action folds back to Moneymaker. He needs 4,400 to call, and he does. Meyer with his trays makes the call. So pretty much a 3-way jump ball to the flop. Flop is 5 queen 4. Moneymaker with a pair of queens and the nut flush draw. Einhorn picked up an inferior flush draw. Check to Einhorn. He bet 16,000.
Now, well, Moneymaker decided to let Einhorn lead out again and trap himself.
He's done just that. 2003 world champ.
Make it 40.
is going to make it 40,000. So Meyer left with pocket trays, and they go away. Now back to Einhorn.
Einhorn has a flush draw, which of course is no good because Chris has better clubs. Chris just could have smooth called there. Instead, he makes the big pot-sized raise, perhaps trying to convince Einhorn he's bluffing and hoping David comes back over the top of him.
Einhorn will fold, and so Moneymaker with top pair and the nut flush draw put a quick end to that hand.
Good hand.
Einhorn, even smarter than he looks, makes the good laydown.
So Chris Moneymaker having a pretty successful main event so far adds to his chip stack. All right, let's get back over to table 2. Taylor Raines raised with ace queen. Action now on a very short stack Jerry Yang. Jerry with ace deuce.
I'm all in.
Jerry's going to push with that suited ace.
Jerry Yang hanging on with very little left.
Raines would need not that much more to put Jerry at risk.
Your father never wanted you to gamble. Maybe he knew what he was talking about.
Raines, a 32-year-old from San Jose, used to be a software engineer, makes the call, and Jerry Yang at risk and trailing.
Total or more?
Yes, total. Okay, guys, this is it for the champ. We're gonna need some serious luck.
And the champ may have only one flop, turning river left in him.
Raines with the lead.
Whatever happens, yeah, I have fun. Whatever happens, I have fun, guys.
Jerry gracious as always. The flop is 6-6-5. The bigger ace for Raines keeps him in the lead.
Well, that gives Jerry a shot at a split pot. If two pair hit the board, both would play their ace kicker.
Turn card is a club and a club flush draw for Jerry.
With a club or deuce, Jerry wins it. Or if a 5 or jack hits, it'll be a split pot with 2 pair on the board. Otherwise, the champ is done.
River's a jack.
Chop it.
Chop, chop, chop.
And chop they
chop,
will.
Guys, chop.
Jerry momentarily thought it was over. He's alive.
And so is the dream of back-to-back.
Can't get rid of you so easily.
Hey, you know what? I'm the defending champion here. I'm sure you guys want me to stay a little bit longer, right?
Yang's stack is close to the felt, but he's still alive and still defending his title. Welcome back to the Rio. November 11th is when that bracelet will be awarded to the main event champion, along with $9.1 million. Chris won $2.5 for his victory 5 years ago.
This table got much more serious after you took down that big pot.
Wasn't it not as fun loving anymore?
No, doesn't seem like it.
I'm still having fun.
Oh, I'm having fun.
I'm sure David is too.
Why shouldn't he be having fun? It's the main event, the big one. $9 million to the winner. Pocket nines, it's a party.
Einhorn with those pocket nines.
Actually, doesn't look like he's having fun.
Limps in for 600. Chris Moneymaker. Jack 8 suited. He's a limper.
Look, it's like a bachelor party down there. A bunch of happy guys. And then there's my main man, Diego Cordovez. Fun loving, life of the party. He's having a gas.
Small blind with King 10. Only costs him 300 to limp in. He does. Anton Bergstrom.
How old's this guy?
23.
Just want to make sure he's supposed to be here.
He does check his option for 4 limpers. Pocket nines for Einhorn in the lead right now. The flop is ace, jack, tray. Moneymaker grabs the lead with a pair of jacks. Cordovez picked up a straight draw. He checks. Bergstrom missed everything. Checked over to Chris Moneymaker, and he checks as well.
What's everybody waiting for? A naked lady to jump out of a cake?
Another jack and trip jacks for Moneymaker. Cordovez missed his straight draw. He checks. Check. Check again to Moneymaker. And he bets 1,500.
Chris decides he's not going to wait any longer.
Diego gives it up. Bergstrom folds. Einhorn. Well, he'll make the call for 1,500.
Chris gets one taker. All you need is one customer to make money. Cha-ching.
River cards a 5 of clubs. Moneymaker with his trip jacks earns the check mark. Einhorn checks. Moneymaker working with a nice stack, bets 4,000.
We saw Einhorn make that good laydown earlier against Chris. Let's see if he can again give it up properly.
Einhorn purses the lips and says, it's $4 grand. He calls.
Oof.
And Moneymaker shows the winning hand.
David called on the turn with the 9s. I guess he figured they were still good.
Chris Moneymaker takes some more chips off of David Einhorn.
A lot of main event champions still alive in this tournament. I'd love to see Chris Moneymaker keep it going.
All right, let's check on the progress of some of the players we've been following on the outer tables. Mike Matusow in a hand again with Andrew Roble. Action on Roble with all the cards out. Matusow checked the action to Roble. Roble checks. Matusow turns over an ace. It looks like he caught the river.
Got there. I know I got there. You think I don't know I got there? I was hoping it's maybe two's a bluff when the ace rolled off there. You become too good a player. The old you would have bet there. The new you rolled it over. I don't like the new you. I like the old you.
The mouth digging playfully at Andrew Roble.
All right, elsewhere we find Jean-Robert Bellande.
Wow. Don't have chirping chips yet.
Here's another mouth.
He does collect a small pot.
Feeling a lot better. Don't have chirping chips yet, boys.
He doesn't need many chips to chirp. Over to Mike Wilson, who has raised all in. He's been working the short stack most of the day. It looks like he gets his opponent to fold, and he'll take that pot.
Mike, a retired stockbroker, he put himself through school playing poker.
You want me to stack it or you're all that I know is if they don't call you, they can't beat you. Right?
So Mike put the pressure on, and he does take some more chips in. All right, over to table 2 now, and Jerry Yang has just been barely hanging on.
I'm all in, guys.
And with ace-jack, he's going to push again with the short stack.
Jerry nursing that short stack much of the day.
Yang happy to see the big ace in a desperate situation. To the small blind, John Krongeyer with ace-9. He's short also. Krongeyer does make the call to put Jerry Yang at risk. Action on the big blind now. Big blind folds. And so Yang and Krongeyer heads up, and Jerry has the best of it.
All right, we're ahead. We're ahead.
Jerry's got him dominated.
We want to see that jack or ace, right? Ace or jack, one of those.
All right, so heads up with Jerry's dad looking on, his son at risk. The flop. Oh, and there's a 9 that pairs Krongeyer.
Unbelievable.
The champ now on the ropes.
Jack.
Turn card is a queen.
Jack.
Jerry down to perhaps his final card. Only a jack will keep Yang alive at the main event.
The river card is a 10, and Jerry Yang has been eliminated from the 2008 main event.
It's been great playing with you guys.
1 year later, Jerry Yang returns to earth.
Hey, next year, right?
John Krongeyer does the dirty work, and for the 20th straight year, there will be no repeat champ at the main event.
Everybody, thank you so much for your support.
The 2008 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by the World Series of Poker. Shouldn't you be playing for a bracelet next year? Pre-register at worldseriesofpoker.com.
Back inside the Rio for a poker player being knocked out of the main event is a serious blow, yet Jerry Yang still manages a smile and a word for his fans on the way out.
No one expected Yang to go back-to-back. It was nice to see Jerry make it to day 2.
Thank you for everything, everybody.
So we will have a new champion here in 2008. Let's catch up on some of the past champions still in action. The 05 world champion Joe Hachem putting out a bet.
That's 32.
Hachem made a deep run in the main event the year after his victory.
Yeah, in his effort to go back-to-back, he finished 238th in the largest main event field in history.
He wins that pot as his opponent lays it down. So Joe Hachem looking good right now. At another table, Phil Hellmuth, after he won the big one in '89, he made it back to a main event final table in 2001.
Wow, see, this time I put you on a big hand. But, you know, I have something. I'm not out there.
Phil was raised by Ramsey Jalassi and folds.
When I was 19 years old, I had the sickest dream that I'm going to win the main event. First time I played. I don't know, it might be true.
It's good to dream, son.
There are dreamers everywhere in this room.
On the E-Trade Financial Tournament ticker, you see a list of players who did win the main event in their first attempt. It's happened 5 of the last 6 years.
Hal Fowler in '79, the first amateur ever to win the main event.
One of the players on that list, Chris Moneymaker, is at our featured table. You know, when he was playing that online satellite that earned him his 2003 main event spot, the first 3 places paid a seat. 4th place paid $1,000. Chris was just going for the $1,000 because he desperately needed the money, but it seemed to work out pretty well for him. He's got ace king.
Indeed, Chris is the pinup boy for dreams. He turned that $40 internet investment into $2.5 million.
He raises 3 times the big blind to $1,800. Gerhard Meyer with pocket aces.
Well, Moneymaker's ace king could be a nightmare for him against pocket aces.
Meyer makes a raise to $4,900 total. Adler gets out of the way on Diego Cordovez.
Let's watch Diego. He might get emotional here.
He looked upset folding.
What do you have left?
Uh-oh.
What do you have left?
Moneymaker certainly has Meyer covered.
Chris can't get hurt too bad here.
Moneymaker is going to raise it to $19,000 total.
Wow, that was way too fast.
Meyer called right away. The 2003 main event champ has been running pretty good at this featured table, but runs into a bump in the road here, in danger of losing 20,000 chips. So Meyer against Moneymaker. The flop is 10, queen, deuce. Meyer still leads. Moneymaker with an inside straight draw.
No check. I hope.
One jack.
Running king or a jack to make a straight. Let's see the turn.
Next time, please.
One jack, please, sir.
That would fill his straight. It's a tray on the turn.
He's now going to have to catch a jack.
And only a jack would eliminate Meyer.
River card now.
Sick of paying out money. Give me a jack so I can build better.
Is a 4, and Meyer will double up to 40,000 through Moneymaker as Chris is forced to give up a chunk of his stack.
It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Nice.
Chris might be dreaming of 03 right now.
So Chris takes a hit to his stack, but he's still in pretty good shape.
I mean, nobody wants to get knocked out before tomorrow, right?
The money bubble is approaching. All right, action on Klaus Patro on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam. A pair of trays for the man from France. He limps in for 800. Tom Lee, World Series rookie. Pocket nines.
His nickname is Joker because of his big smile at the poker table. Well, not right now.
He also calls for 800. Action on Peter Costa, born in Greece, grew up in England, pro player. Ace 3 of clubs.
This guy's a delight. He's got 2 nicknames, Silver Fox and the Poet. That's how delightful he is.
And he limps in. Friendly pot so far. Anahit Galajian from Glendale, California with ace queen off.
She doesn't have a nickname, but her friends call her Anna.
And she will limp in as well. About 2,400 players began this day 2 session. About a third of them are gone already. Action folds around to Hansen, born in Denmark, now calls Monaco his home. 8-7 offsuit, and he calls.
Easy money, Gus.
Should have moved all in. Nobody's going to call you.
I'm a tight player.
If Gus Hansen's a tight player, then I'm a matrimonial genius.
And the big blind is Jesper Huga, 23-year-old Swedish student with queen deuce.
His nickname is Jeppish. I don't know what that means.
A bunch of limpers, 6 players to the flop, any 2 cards.
I guess there was a pre-flop special.
7 deuce deuce. Huga with trip deuces grabs the lead from the big blind.
Yeah, you lick your lips when you hit trips.
Wow. Hansen first to act. He hit a pair of 7s and bets 2,600.
If you're watching TV on a 9-inch TV set, we apologize.
That is a lot to look at. Huga with his trip deuces makes the call and gets a glare from Gus. Patro will give up his hand.
Thank goodness we lost somebody.
And Lee will call with pocket nines. Costa says no thanks.
Something doesn't smell right.
That's my aftershave, Peter.
Galajian folds also, so 3 players survive to the turn. It is a 10. That hits no one. Huga still with the advantage. Gus checks his 7s. Now Huga with trip deuces is all in for 10,300. There's a message.
That should thin the herd.
Yeah, Lee does get out of the way.
Gus is a one-man herd.
Well,
caught part of the flop.
You could have that, you could have that, you could have that, and...
But he could have that.
I don't know which one of them I can beat.
None of them.
And he does fold. And so Gus Hansen beat by the young Swedish student Jesper Huga, a World Series rookie.
I didn't like your call. I didn't mind Gus's bet. It's your call I didn't like.
Come on, when I lead out, it's like this, okay?
I don't think anybody's buying that, but that's the beauty of Gus's game. You just don't know.
Norman, the day 2 sessions are nearing an end, and while some may already be looking forward to day 3 and the money that lies ahead, on this day there is still a lot of poker to be played and a lot of danger to be dodged.
Lon, you want danger? I say Gus Hansen. You want adventurous? I say Gus Hansen. You want stylish? I say Gus Hansen. You want aggressive? I say Gus Hansen. Plus, he's a man's man and a ladies' man. Heck, we have so much in common. How can I not root for him?
Gus's persona is quite magnetic, always looks calm above the table, but below board's a different story, clearly antsy for some action. Of course, Gus is not the only player in the Rio poker room who's always putting his opponents to the test. 2005 Player of the Year, Alan Cunningham knows a thing or two about flexing his poker muscle.
71 more.
Alan's moving all in right now against Marco Saboni.
Cunningham made the main event final table in 2006.
I can't beat anything. Listen.
Saboni's gonna fold.
I think they're applauding Alan's shirt.
At another table, the always dangerous Mike Matisow.
Come on.
And Mike has pushed all in as well. Gary Friedlander is his opponent. Wastes very little time folding.
There is a king on the board.
I had it, boys. Don't worry.
The mouth tortures him by only showing a 6.
Don't worry. I had a king. I am cruel, aren't I? They beat me a pot like that, I gotta get cruel.
To another intimidating force, Jean-Robert Bellande. After the river, Bellande had top pair, top kicker, but his opponent, Sven Hoffeldner, moved all in with a full house.
You want me to call you?
Why wouldn't he want you to call him? He's got kings full. Don't do it, Bobby. You're a survivor.
He does fold.
Behind some. Huh? Behind some.
Top pair, top kicker. Good laydown by Bellande.
Now on, I'm making the donkey call and catching there. Catching it. I'm going to get there.
I had a hard time catching that.
Donkey call usually leads to donkey busted.
So Jean-Robert saved himself a few chips with that laydown at table 2 now, where Phil Laak has taken up residence. Almost half the table is going to see the flop, including Phil, who opened the action with a raise.
19 players taking the flop.
Give my cards back.
Actually, just 4 players. Michael Carroll is sitting this one out. Phil Laak opened things up. He has Jack 7. Ken Lee called with pocket 4s. Eric Semel with ace 10 of clubs, and Mo Saquin, the big blind, with king 6 offsuit.
3 of the 4 players in the hand are sitting down.
The flop is 9, Jack 9. Phil Laak with the lead. Jack's up. Semel first to act. He checks. Big blind. Saquin checks as well.
Well, the one player standing up has the best hand. Maybe that's the way to go.
He is going to bet it. 3,500 from Phil. Lee folds. Semel gets out of the way. Saquin pauses. He's going to try to buy it with a big raise.
You're bluffing, huh?
Yes, he is.
Very strong move. You know that I probably don't have quad 9s.
Well, you just told him.
And you're doing the thing.
He's doing the thing.
They're all going to laugh at me in like Iowa and Des Moines, Iowa. Chicago, Illinois, they'll be laughing there. Surely in Boston, Mass, they'll be having a good time. What a donk, Phyllis, what a donk. Didn't he know?
That big of a hand?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is this any good?
Phil Laak's going to lay it down.
So don't, you can show the bluff. Just go ahead, show the 8-4. 8-4 suited at least. Let it be suited.
Doesn't show.
I'll pay you to see the hand. I'll pay you. It's too late now.
Hey, we're laughing with you, Phil.
You had the 8-4. Was it suited at least? 8-4 hearts. It had some kind of pre-flop purity to it.
He won't give up.
You just got dirty. You had 8-4 offsuit, and you just decided that was that. You just didn't like it. You're gonna punish me, huh? That's how you do it? You just hurt me. I didn't do anything to you or your family, and that's how it is. That's harsh. That's so harsh.
Life at the main event of the World Series of Poker. It can be harsh on those brave enough to try.
The 2008 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by the World Series of Poker. Shouldn't you be playing for a bracelet next year? Pre-register at worldseriesofpoker.com.
Back at the Rio, our E-Trade Financial Tournament ticker, you see that Phil Hellmuth holds the record for most World Series cashes.
And Hellmuth at age 43, the youngest on that accomplished list.
To an outer table where Phil has pushed all in.
You can't win this without winning a big pot, right?
His opponent is Matt Vengren. Vengren with a big decision. And he is going to fold against Hellmuth and shows pocket queens.
You want the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, I had one of 3 hands.
I know, that's why I put you on.
Aces, kings, or ace king. That's the truth.
I believe Phil, because I don't think he's moving all in pre-flop at this point of the tournament without a really big hand.
When it comes to talking, Phil might get a run for his money from Jean Robert, also known as Bobby Bellande, but right now, mum's the word. Bellande bet out to Gilles Roy, waiting for his reaction, and he's going to give it up.
Excellent laydown.
Excellent laydown is Jean Robert's catchphrase. He loves to talk and put players on tilt.
How do I say in Chinese? Han hao, fold. Han hao. Fei chang hao. Han hao.
Bellande can apparently compliment opponents in Mandarin as well after his experience on one of the most popular TV shows on the planet.
Last year I missed the main event for one reason. I was doing Survivor China and was there instead of being here. That was brutal. My strategy out there was being the biggest bully, being the biggest jerk, and barely escaping elimination. I race. When I'm at a poker table, I will talk, I'll try and put people off their game, I'll intimidate them.
All right, you guys, this is the way it's gonna go.
I really feel that being a poker pro gave me a significant edge.
Hold up, baby! Let's do this!
Even though Survivor was brutal, I still think winning the main event at the World Series is more difficult.
Oh, man.
You're basically just trying to survive the hand, trying to survive the level, and then trying to survive the day. I would much rather be a World Series of Poker champion than the ultimate survivor.
Survivor was looking for a poker pro last year. Daniel Negreanu turned him down because he didn't want to miss the main event. Jean Robert said yes.
You guys are playing so good, making such good laydowns.
I can't really see Daniel Negreanu on Survivor. I'm not sure rats or bats would fit into his vegetarian diet.
Jean Robert makes a lot of noise when he takes your chips back over to the featured table, and more of a silent assassin, Gus Hansen. Hansen looking for his first World Series of Poker bracelet. He has a 9. He's got a jack offsuit.
Gus is a well-traveled survivor. He once threw up in 3 different countries, Belgium, France, and Denmark, in like 7 hours. He believes that is a record.
2,200 is the raise from Gus Hansen. Klaus Petro, King Queen offsuit.
Call.
Calls for 1,800.
Love that accent.
So Gus Hansen and Klaus Petro to the flop. It is 8-9 Queen Petro with top pair. Gus Hansen hits middle pair.
Gus arguably has had as big an influence on how people play as anyone during the poker boom. Folks watched him playing wacky hands on TV, and it changed how people look at the game.
Both check to the turn. Turn card is a tray. Changes nothing. Petro still ahead.
All right. 4,000.
4,000.
I want that accent.
4,000.
Gus says 4,000 like it's a bet from Mars. It's pretty standard, 2/3 the size of the pot.
Gus will make the call with middle pair. Needs some help on the river. River card now. An 8 pairs the board. Queen's up for Petro. He earns the check mark. Petro checks this time.
I really do believe I have the best hand.
He checks.
I think no.
There's the queen's up.
I really do believe I was wrong.
Gus is right about being wrong.
Really do believe I was wrong.
It may go against his nature, but being cautious saved him some chips.
The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Welcome back inside the Rio in the 2008 World Series of Poker main event. To the featured table we go, led by Gus Hansen. He has pocket 9s.
Gus says he's evolved. The last couple of years, he's not quite as crazy, smarter at picking his spots. He says he used to have no reverse gear.
He raises it to 2,200. And Norman, as much as you say you want to be like Gus, well, he's following in your footsteps. He's an announcer for the European broadcast of the World Series of Backgammon.
who would follow in my footsteps?
Action folds around to Anahit Galajian.
She's cashed 8 times at the World Series.
Ace queen offsuit makes the call from the big blind, and she'll go heads up with Gus Hansen. Flop now is ace 4 Trey. Galajian pairs her ace to take the lead. She's first to act. She checks it.
Gus says he's had to adjust because people became more prepared for his style.
Gus trailing with his pocket nines, bets 2,400.
See how much she likes her aces.
Galajian makes the call.
She doesn't like them that much. I think she's overly wary of Gus's hand.
Turn card 5 of hearts. Gus has a flush draw.
Scare card scares Gus.
Galajian still leads with her aces. Wheel draw on board, and she checks.
Flush and straight draw out there.
Look back for hearts.
Gus has 1 heart, maybe trying to win over another.
Galajian not falling for Gus's charm trap or any of his trappings.
Let's see the river.
Let's see the river, Lon.
And here it comes. 5 of clubs. Galajian earns the check mark with those aces up. She checks.
Let's see another river.
You're not going to bet anymore?
Anna played those aces very softly.
And Gus will check.
I wanted another heart.
Didn't
Just
get the
one more
heart.
Thank you.
Galajian gets the pot. Yeah, Gus Hansen got off easy on the river the last couple of hands that we have seen him play. To the field we go. Galajian, one of 209 women to have entered the main event this year. With 2 World Series bracelets and 8 final tables, Jen Harmon is seeking her first main event finish in the money. And she has moved all in.
Yeah, Jen has had a rough string of main events.
Pushed in against Tommy Lee. 2 queens on the board. The brother of poker pro Nam Lee folds.
He mucks pocket kings? I think he saw Jen do that on a full tilt commercial.
Playing the game here.
So Jen survives a dicey moment out there. Elsewhere, Van Nguyen, the wife of 6-time bracelet winner Min Nguyen, raking in a big pot after knocking off a player. Oh, and there is Min checking in on Mrs. Master.
Look at the 6-7.
Keep it up, baby. You got more than me now, eh? You bust somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, you bust him? Oh, that's good for you. When you put the chip in, you say, all you can eat, baby.
I have issues with whoever taught Men the Master English.
Back to table 2 with Phil Laak, who played all of day 1 extensively made up as an old man.
I barely play a hand.
There you go.
Ace Trey.
Has he been abusing our blinds all day long?
He raised it.
All day long.
That's Michael Carroll, another Las Vegas pro. He and Phil have been busting each other's chops for quite a while. Queen Jack of diamonds for Carroll.
Carroll says he's the best player that people don't know. Well, now we know, Mike.
This is the way it's going to be.
It's me. It's me. It's me.
I know you have like 2 9s or something.
That's what you think this hand is?
I know it's 2 9s.
Carroll and Laak heads up to see the flop. Flop is deuce 5-5. Laak picked up a straight draw. His ace high leads. And he bets 3,000.
Well, Phil said Carroll had 2 9s. That bet represents that Phil can beat 2 9s.
Action on Carroll. And that raised to 7,500 indicates that he can beat Phil.
Carroll says, take that. Plays back at him.
And Phil shows him an ace and folds.
I'll pay you to see the hand. I'll pay you cash. Cash money, cash money.
We're too good of friends. I can't take your money.
So you're bluffing me?
Have I showed you one?
Show him that one.
Yeah, you showed everyone a huge one.
That's when I was a fish. I learned a couple of things.
Phil getting pushed around today.
I never win.
And cue the world's tiniest violins for Phil Laak.
I jump in a cab to come to the Rio. The cab driver goes, "You going to play some poker?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "So where are you from?" I go, "From Australia." He goes, "Oh, really? So you come all the way over here to play poker?" I go, "Yeah, it's a hell of a way to come to chase a dream." And he goes, "Hey, that fella a couple of years ago, Joe Hachem, he's from Australia, isn't he? He won it, man. He won the World Series." I go, "Yeah, you know what? I hope I can be the next Joe Hachem." He goes, "Good luck to you, my friend."
Since winning the World Championship in 2005, Joe has proved himself time and again. He is a serious contender.
Yes, he is, Lon. He's made 2 other World Series final tables, a World Series circuit final table, and he won a WPT title for $2.2 million.
He makes a bet of $12,000 on the river. His opponent, Rafe Adler, calls, and Joe shows a full boat.
And I've said it before, he just has the look of a champion.
Never knew where I was in the hand till the river. To be honest. I never
feel good on the river?
The river, I knew where I was. Before that, I had no idea where I was in the hand.
Joe was one of a handful of former main event champs in the room. That family photo belongs to 2003 champ Chris Moneymaker.
Moneymaker has not had the same success as Hachem. He's only cashed in 3 events in the last 5 World Series, and he has yet to cash in the main event again.
Chris facing a bet of $20,000 from his opponent Eric Bunch, and Chris is forced to fold.
Chris trying to make it to day 3 and the money here in the main event.
There's Johnny Chan, who has his tournament life on the line. He pushed all in, waiting on Shawn Sheikhan to call or fold.
I call.
And Shawn calls.
Chan has Sheikhan dominated here. You may recall Sheikhan from his battles with Mike Matusow at the 05 main event.
Ace-King, Johnny Chan all in against King-Jack of Sheikhan. And the flop is 8 Ace-Ace. That's a good flop for Johnny. Turn card now is a 9, and that is it. Sheikhan drawing dead. Johnny Chan doubles up.
4 times in 6 years starting in 1987, Chan finished first, second, and 7th at the main event.
But no cash at the main event since 1992. The main event bracelet waits patiently for its new owner. Defending champion Jerry Yang was knocked out earlier in this day 2 session. Gus Hansen would love his first bracelet to be the main event bracelet.
Everyone's playing loose except Gus. Okay.
Rock.
Loose. Solid.
Peter Costa with a wildly inaccurate description of the table.
The blinds are now at 4 and 800. All the loose players at the table fold. Over to the very tight Gus Hansen. Hansen, Jack 10 offsuit.
Gus is a citizen of Denmark, a resident of Monaco, and a gambler of the world.
Raises to 2,200. Table folds to Tom Lee. Tom looks down at Queen 9 offsuit from the big blind.
Lee, Vietnamese born, but he went to Penn State. A Nittany Lion for life.
He calls for 1,400 and will test his skills against Gus Hansen. The flop is King 10-9. Hansen gets middle pair. Lee is coming up short with bottom pair. Both with straight draws. Lee checks.
Gus just wrote a book about winning the Aussie Millions in which he details every hand he played. I don't know if I like poker that much.
Gus checks the flop. The 4 on the turn. Hansen still leads. Lee first to act. Up against the top pro. We'll check it. Hansen, 3,000.
This feels like a practice hand. Nobody's hitting hard. Put on the shoulder pads. Put on the helmets.
A call from Lee. Now the river card is another 4. Hansen earns the check mark. Lee's going to be safe again and check.
He's checked every step of the way.
Hansen will bet it. 5,600.
I thought Lee's nickname was Joker because he smiles at the table a lot. Where's that smile?
It's not here.
Well, this is where Gus's reputation sometimes pays off for him. People will call him down because they think he's posturing.
I call.
Lee will do just that, and he'll learn he has lost the hand.
I have a 10.
And Lee has a 9. 10s beat 9s. I learned that online last week.
So Tom Lee forced to give chips to the top pro at this feature table.
That still felt like a preseason pot.
That's not preseason. This is the real thing, the main event. All right, let's go back over to table 2. Phil Laak is ahead after the flop, holding pocket 8s. His opponent, Mo Saquin, flopped an open-ended straight draw.
Every pot with Phil Laak feels like postseason poker.
He checks as well. And now the turn card is a 5, and Saquin hit the 9 high straight. He's first to act. Makes it 3,500 to stick around.
Remember what you said earlier, Phil? You can't win.
He makes the call. He was ahead. He's no longer ahead. River card is a 4. Saquin earns the check mark. He's got the straight. And Mo puts out 10,000 this time.
You're doing it again to me, huh?
In a different way.
I won't bluff you twice.
It feels like I had you and then you got me. That's the sick thing.
Saquon got him on the turn.
I got you beat. If you take that long, lay it down.
I told you you're going to show me, right?
Yeah, I'll show.
Why are you betting so much? You bet 2,500 when the pot was like 1,800 about 6 years ago, and you just had me crush. He said everything right to get me to call. It's like genius. He's a rocket scientist of getting the guy to call. The part about he'll show me too, that's like just cincher, just like, yeah, put your money in.
Phil screwing himself into the ground quite eloquently.
All right, show me.
Laak correctly lays it down, and that is the planter's good instinct moment.
Good lay down, good lay down.
Phil had a bad feeling about that hand. Luckily, he followed his gut.
6-8? That's a straight. I got lucky. I just went into the back of my head and flipped the coin. It came out odds, and I was like, odds I fold. I really wanted to call, but the coin sat there in the back of my head.
I said I show and you don't call.
I thought coin flips were heads and tails. The coin came up odds?
A good laydown for Phil Laak that time.
The Planter's Good Instinct moment is brought to you by Planters. Instinctively good. The 2008 World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. Main event.
Take care, guys.
Back at the Rio, Diego Cordovez is gone.
Diego finished 67th at the main event a year ago.
On the E-Trade Financial Tournament ticker, you see 466 players survived the first Day 2 session. Over 1,100 remain in this Day 2 session. Contrary to popular belief, poker is not frenetic wall-to-wall action. There's a lot of downtime.
There's 2008 bracelet winner Nanad Medic playing solitaire on his iPod and taking down a pot at the same time. Geez, I can't even power my iPod on.
Back at our feature table, Gus Hansen appears a bit indifferent to the tasks at hand.
Well, on the main event is grueling. Gus once played poker 72 hours straight, not because he was prepping for the main event, just because he was losing.
All right, action continues at this featured table. Falls over to Andreas Torbergsen, 23-year-old from Norway. Gus Hansen was an early poker idol of his. Ace-10 offsuit.
He's a student at Trondheim University. I believe they are the Demon Deacons.
2,300 is the raise from Torbergsen into his poker idol, Gus Hansen. Jack-9 offsuit. In the big blind, he makes the call for 1,500 more.
Gus Hansen very mellow today.
So Hansen and Torbergsen. Flop is 8-King-7, a straight draw for Hansen, but Torbergsen with the ace-high is still best. Gus checks.
Torbergsen started playing poker after watching it on TV, and Gus was on TV all the time. As you mentioned, he became his idol.
Turn card is a 9, and Gus Hansen takes the lead with a pair of 9s.
You'll find a lot of younger players on the European Poker Tour. Patrik Antonius says Gus Hansen is like Doyle Brunson over there. Gus is what, 34?
He's one of the old guard, huh? Hansen bets 3,200 with his 9s, a straight draw for Torbergsen on the turn. And he's going to come along.
Torbergsen on the draw.
River card now is the Jack, and Torbergsen hit his straight. That also gives Gus 2 pair.
Yeah, quite an unfortunate river for Gus Hansen.
Hansen first to act, and he checks his 2 pair. Torbergsen, what to do against his guy. He bets 12,000. Gus thinks maybe you got it.
I'll let you bluff me.
Gus gonna lay his 2 pair down.
Well, Gus just doesn't win by aggression. He also wins with good instincts. That was a good read.
An excellent read by Gus Hansen. Back over to table 2 now. After the flop, Phil Laak is way behind with a pair of 3s. His buddy Michael Carroll paired his ace and checked.
Phil has been everyone's punching bag here of late.
Laak puts out a bet of 1,900. Michael Carroll
3,500 more.
is going to raise it, and that's the way Phil Laak's day's been going.
Michael Carroll's been playing well, and he's been pushing Phil around.
Phil gives it up. No speech. Carroll takes the pot.
Well done, kid.
There we go.
I had you pre-flop once again.
I wasn't going to be raised there.
It's like I always have you pre-flop, and you always outflop me, or you outbluff me, you outplay me.
See that camera and that one? I'm watching.
It's $9 million at stake, you know? I need that money. I got bills to pay. $9 million.
You didn't even say that with a straight face.
Okay, I don't have any bills, but I have things I want to buy that cost a lot. You know?
$9 million is the number everyone has their sights set on. But as we go to the outer tables, we find Chris Moneymaker has his eyes squarely focused only on Leo Wolpert.
It looks like speed dating.
Wolpert bet 11,100. Chris makes the call. Wolpert turns over 2 pair, and clearly a misread by the 03 main event champ.
That is a face full of agony.
Elsewhere, Phil Hellmuth just bet into a big pot on the turn.
Bye-bye, Phil, or bye-bye somebody.
I'm sorry, is Phil doing stretches during the hand, or are his shorts just bunched up?
Action on Bobby Law, a frequent sparring partner of Phil's, and he lays it down.
Go one time. You want me to show?
They have been bluffing back and forth.
All right.
Once again.
4 deuce squadouche.
You guys want to play some poker with me? Let's go, baby. You want to play poker? Play the playa.
What would a main event be without a new catchphrase from Phil Hellmuth? Next Tuesday, the entire main event field finally comes together as the race for the money is on. And on November 11th, the highly anticipated final table. The November 9 will compete for the most coveted prize in poker. Every Tuesday night at 8 and 9 p.m., it's the World Series of Poker on ESPN. Welcome back to the Rio.
Good call, B.
And the sweet sounds of a Jean Robert Bellande double up. Jean Robert getting richer out there.
Dude, maybe I should have thought about that a little longer. The insta-call with second pair and 10 kicker.
Jean Robert can insta-call, scoop a pot, stack his chips, and make a speech. It's a gift.
But you know what? I'm not playing another hand. I'm just going to glide into tomorrow. My nice little tower. I'm not playing another hand. These chips are locked up.
Elsewhere, Mike Matusow never shuts it down. He's put out a bet.
I know you're going to show me 10-7. You know, you can have it. But I mean...
I just want you to shove all in. How's that? See, this way I'll explain to you. Cards have minds. I got the power of positive thinking. The old Mike misses. The new Mike never misses.
I'm such a...
The new Mike never misses, but he also talks as much as the old Mike.
You have to understand, when you know you're going to win, and you think positive, you win. If you actually think you're going to lose, you lose.
Mind over matter, right?
I learned this the hard way. Turn this off.
A little of the old Mike left in the new Mike. Rejoining table 2 and the continuing struggles of Phil Laak. His pocket 4 is being hammered by the pocket aces of Mo Saquon after the flop. Saquon betting 12,000.
12 is probably a good bet.
Have we seen Phil Laak win a hand today?
No, he is not a happy camper.
Now I'm probably supposed to just go all in, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 46.
Phil says he found his epitaph at age 14, into this world without my consent, leaving this world against my will. I like that.
It is a long road to hoe. See? This is why it's not easy. You see?
Showing his hand to a passerby. Why not?
My hand's still alive. It has to be people at the table that see it.
Now he's playing the role of tournament director.
You show me if I fold? The last time you answered correctly and I did the wrong thing. Or the right thing. Did I do the right thing?
Yeah. Well, I don't... Yeah, because he made it straight.
You don't want to answer anymore? I got it right last time when you talked, right? Is that what happened?
Win or lose, Phil is full of Hollywood. It's a 3-act play before he mucks.
See, in the olden days, I couldn't fold this.
They're just pocket 4s. He finally folds.
No, 2 10s with the 10 of diamonds. In the olden days, I would have to stick it all in. I couldn't see any other way out. You know?
Saquon gets Phil again. A good performance by Laak. I'm not so sure everyone bought it. It's an age-old act, this Hollywooding, which unfortunately never gets worn out in the poker room and is the subject of this week's edition of The Nuts.
I'll try and explain the term Hollywooding. Basically, it just means acting.
Generally, it's when you have no intention of calling or playing the hand, and you sit there for a minute.
You're basically deceiving with some theatrical overacting.
And you're like, Then you look at your cards, really sad.
It's obvious to everybody at the table that it's an act.
If you've ever watched porn, that is Hollywooding. It's really bad acting.
I can't take it.
My good pal Phil Hellmuth does it more than anybody.
No! Oh, this idiot!
That's not Hollywooding. That's just me showing my frustration.
There's sort of a code that if you have a hand, you bet your hand. You don't Hollywood among people you know. Just get to your bet. In the poker world, you can sleep with someone's wife, but don't Hollywood them.
I've been playing poker my entire adult life, and I didn't realize until now that you can sleep with somebody else's wife. It really is a great game.
Back to the feature table on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Camp. Gus Hansen with Ace-Queen offsuit.
Gus named one of People Magazine's 50 sexiest men alive a few years back. I finished just outside the list.
I bet you're number one on a lot of other lists, though. 3,300 is a raise to Stephen Massa. He has pocket sixes. He lives on the island of St. Martin in the Caribbean. Massa re-raised the action to 8,000. And now it's back to Gus Hansen.
It's so obvious that Gus is counting Massa's chips. You know, he could be more subtle about it. And Gus now is doing some math. It looks like he's carrying a number in his head that's really hard to do without paper.
Hansen needs 4,700 to call, but he may be doing more than that. He does re-raise Massa all in. With pocket sixes, Stephen Massa.
If Massa knew it was a coin flip, I think he'd gamble here. But I don't even know how you start to figure out what Gus's cards are, ever.
Massa right now probably going through the possibilities. Gus could have kings. He could have deuce seven.
By the way, how many players at this table are wearing earrings?
And he does fold. And Gus puts the pressure on and takes the pot.
Gus, though, today still pretty mellow, very quiet.
Please.
Whatever he's doing is working, collecting chips at this featured table. At an outer table, Phil Hellmuth flopped a pair of aces. Tony Clark a set of tens. After the turn, Hellmuth is drawing dead, and Clark has pushed all in for 49,000.
27.
Who called the clock?
The clock has been called on Phil Hellmuth.
27.
Did a player at the table call for the clock?
Yeah.
Phil doesn't like that.
Well, just admit you called for the
Ramsey Jalassi called the clock.
Why would you do that to me?
Floor, table 27.
How long did that take?
4 minutes.
Big decision for Phil. But he makes the call and will lose that big pot.
Ace-King can get you into so much trouble so many ways.
Hellmuth is steaming.
Watch this idiot put all his money into sixes.
You bet I did.
Ace 10 and all these crazy bad plays he made.
I knew I was going to get you.
Phil always has a target on him. Of course, Phil creates a larger target for himself.
Probably won't make it to the end of the day. You had me dead that hand. Nice hand, sir.
All right, to another past main event champ, Joe Hachem's table. Hachem with Jack 6 of clubs just flopped a flush draw.
I'm on.
And Joe's moved all in for his last 13,000. Jarmo Harma called him with pocket kings. Action on Pascal Garreau now, and he moves all in with pocket queens. And so the re-raise back to Harma. And Harma will make the call. He has both players covered and leads with kings, Garreau, and Joe Hachem at risk.
Joe's going to have to make his flush.
Come on, club.
Turn card now. A queen, Garreau with a full house.
It's all over.
It is over. Joe Hachem will be eliminated. A jack on the river. Garreau wins a big pot. Joe Hachem is gone.
For the second straight year, the 05 champ heads out the door early at the main event.
Joe Hachem goes down, but not without a fight. And now takes a dreaded walk to the exit.
Joe?
Hey,
knocked out?
Yeah, I just got knocked out.
Here is tonight's Poker Fact, brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net. There are nearly 2.6 million possible hands in poker. No wonder there are so many ways to win.
The 2008 World Series of Poker is presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, brewed for a man's taste, Miller Brewing Company, and in part by the World Series of Poker. Shouldn't you be playing for a bracelet next year? Pre-register at WorldSeriesOfPoker.com.
Back at the Rio, the last man to win the main event back-to-back is in a big hand. Johnny Chan flopped a flush draw and raised.
Re-raise.
Charlie Wang, though, with a set of jacks, re-raises Johnny all in. And Chan will call.
All in and a call on 18.
Chan at risk, and he has run into a set of jacks. His main event life is teetering.
Yeah, like Hachem did just a moment ago. Chan may be walking towards the rail. Turn card now. Is a heart. Chan gets the flush, but it's not over.
If the board pairs, Chan will still be eliminated.
River card is an ace, and Chan will double up. That's a huge pot for the two-time champ.
The best players in the world get lucky too.
Winner, winner, chicken for dinner again.
So Johnny Chan happy to stack a whole bunch of new chips. Back to the featured table now. Gus Hansen trying to find some momentum, but Gus pretty much stuck in neutral so far while he's been at this featured table. A new player at the table, Omar McFarlane, 30 years old from West Palm, Florida. Ace Queen. McFarlane will raise to 1,200.
This is a very polite group at the featured table. I would have any of these people over for dinner anytime, provided they brought dinner.
Action folds around to Gus Hansen in the small blind.
I can't help it. I just can't help it. I just can't help it.
Pocket nines, and he's going to raise it to 5,200.
Gus with a little acting there. He can't help but play pocket nines and raise.
Massive folds.
Come on, Omar. We got to stop him. We can't have him doing this.
Peter Costa trying to gather up a posse to tame Gus Hansen.
McFarlane will make the call for 4,000 more. So heads up, Hansen and McFarlane. Gus in the lead with the pocket nines.
Gus with an itchy face tonight. I hate that.
Flop is 10 Jack Queen. McFarlane pairs his queen. Both get straight draws. Hansen with an up and down straight draw.
Gus with an incredible record on the World Poker Tour, but he has not seen that success translate to the World Series of Poker.
Gus bets out 4,400. McFarlane with a gut shot straight draw and a leading pair of queens.
McFarlane is an entrepreneur. I'd like to be an entrepreneur.
He moves all in. Gus will need 13,000 to call.
13-2, I could be a hero.
All heroes die young, don't do that.
I don't know why I'm not smart enough to check. I really must be a dumb... I might get a penalty if I say that. I really must be dumb.
You want to see dumb, Gus? Step into the booth, my friend.
Hey.
I meant both of us, you moron.
Why did I get into this?
Hansen led pre-flop, then bet the flop with 3 overcards that came out.
Right now, Gus is crunching the numbers. It's a tough decision.
Do I really have to call this?
McFarlane just came to the table. Gus has no idea who this guy is, how he plays.
You know, I had to decide.
Gus folds. McFarlane will take the pot.
If you saw my hand, you would say it was even more goofy. I'll tell you that.
He's made a couple of good, tough laydowns today.
Cheers, Gus.
Not anything that could beat what you had, that's for sure. But I might have had outs to beat you. I'm not even sure about that, though. You could have had.
Had ace king there.
You're the one lying. You had ace queen.
Definitely a possibility. That was a hand I really didn't want to see.
Well, you wouldn't have seen it unless he had a king in his back pocket.
So from one moping pro to another over to table 2. Phil Laak started the day with 45,000, but has been stuck in reverse most of the day. Phil with pocket queens, though, here.
32.
Phil Laak very busy today and very beat up.
Raises to 3,200. Michael Carroll with pocket aces.
I'm raising.
Of course.
32.
He makes it 92 total.
Michael Carroll has had Phil Laak for lunch and supper today.
Action back on Laak. 6,000 more to call.
Well, we've seen this before. Phil Laak likes to get fully dressed before he pushes all in. And look, he has the presence of mind to put his shoes back on. He is a pro.
He has been bullied and bluffed and blindsided today. It looks like he's getting ready to make his exit.
You're packing up?
Packing up.
It's me.
Don't forget your beverage.
You got everything I need?
You got a beverage.
It's me.
Taking the water because times is broke. Times is tough.
I wonder how long he takes to parallel park.
It was nice playing with all you guys.
I think he's ready to go.
Somebody's going to win $9 million. And I don't know who it's going to be.
All in, call, aces.
Boy, that makes an insta-call look slow.
Oh, Phil is sick that his buddy has aces against his queens.
So he can't have aces or kings.
But he does.
Phil. Man, that's big.
All right, the flop, Jack Deuce 5.
That I'm going to lose, I think, right?
Nothing in there for Phil.
Anyways. Well done, brother. Win all the money.
Laak needs a queen.
Turn card now. A 7. Carroll still way ahead.
Flush. Give me 4 diamonds.
Only a queen, says Phil Laak.
River card is a deuce.
Good
And
luck.
that's it.
See you, everybody. Win all the money.
Phil Laak eliminated.
Take care. Could I have folded that? Maybe.
Nah, you couldn't have. But you could have pushed all in quicker.
That's it. Now this is a walk of shame where we walk down that long hallway alone.
Unabomber Phil Laak does begin that long walk home as day 2 comes to a close. It was a day that began with enormous expectations, and for a number of champs, patience and perseverance was rewarded.
Tired. Day 1 was easy. This was tough.
It didn't work out quite so well for everyone, though.
Next year.
Including former world champion Joe Hachem. Now, many new faces in the crowd gladly move on to day 3, including Mike Wilson and Michael Carroll. They are joined by a slew of dangerous veterans who will now get the chance to play together in one room as the competition and the egos heat up.
I know how to play this tournament. None of these other idiots do.
Over 1,300 players are now closer to the dream of $9.1 million.
All you can eat tomorrow, baby.
Next stop, day 3 and the money. For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. See you next time from the main event of the World Series of Poker.